the big slam from Pepsi. 1 ice-cold liter of Pepsi.
To video, they designed what they thought was the perfect toy.
I'm talking about toys when kids play with.
That great taste of frosting.
Slow down there.
Strokes, less irritation. Mach 3.
Wait, change it back.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Hello, my name is X-Wing. I am joined, as always, by the incomparable JoRosie. How you doing today?
Happy Saturday, y'all. And what a day to be alive, right? Saturday for my Christians out there, Saturday before Easter. So happy Holy Weekend to everybody.
Happy Holy Weekend, indeed. Yeah, and we're going to talk about unholy things, basically, this entire stream. Basically, humans doing what humans do. What's going on to the chat? Hello, Jerry D. Sills. Good to see you here, buddy. Sorry for calling you the shit lord the other day. You definitely typed Sith Lord. I will work on that in the future. Apologies. What's up, Nagernal? Good to see you. Linnea is in the chat, says, X-Wing for president. In my opinion, you do a much better job than the one that is currently running the show. That is not true. I would be a horrible president. I would make a lot of rash decisions that would probably get the country in trouble very, very rapidly. Very rapidly. If he gets Greenland, he's the greatest president of all time. Margaret Riggle is here. What's up, Margaret Riggle? Good to see you. Hello, bonjour. Our good friend John Ambler is in the chat. What's up to the mods? Shout out to the mods in the chat. Good to see you. Rachel Hill is here. What's up, Rachel Hill? Good to see you today. I hope everyone is having an absolutely wonderful Saturday. I know I did some yard work earlier today. I've tried to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Productive? I think productive. Hunter is here. What's up, dude? Shout out. He says, Easter Island Head dead, X-Wing 5's intro developer. You know, I do everything myself. I do absolutely everything myself. I make all my own thumbnails.
I've watched him do it. It's pretty impressive. Very impressive.
You just work quickly. You learn how to do it quickly. I think mainly I just didn't want to pay people to do stuff. I'm like, fuck, I just figure out how to do it myself. Not to mention, like, editing software and stuff is already $50 a month. And then you got to pay somebody else to do stuff. And then you got to pay somebody to edit your video and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just way too much. Lalo's in the chat. What's up? Says it's been too long. It has been too long. The problem is Joe and I are both busy people. We're very busy people. So it can be tough sometimes to get us together for a stream. But we love to do it. Cap J6 is in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Shout out, Hunter. Good to see you. Faith Thomas is here. Hello, Faith Thomas. And I think that gets us caught up with everyone unless I didn't catch you, drop a chat. And blue shell draw 4. There we go. Boom. Perfect. Okay. Let's take a breath and let's start. We're going to do a little palate cleanser, okay? Because the first
thing... If this is you dancing, I'm going to have words.
No, it is not me dancing. That is not me. Confirmed. That is not me. I just wanted to show you exactly what like my dream is as a white male in America. Just because we're going to be talking about race today. It's going to get a little racy from time to time. We'll keep things professional, but I thought it would be important for me right at the very beginning to show you what like my dream as a white male is. You ready?
Mm-hmm. You should be wearing a kilt too.
Just bury me after that. Just bury me because that's the peak. That's like that's
the peak of masculinity, of white masculinity.
It's not even masculinity. It's just like where I'm happy. You're in the mountains on this beautiful golf course. Some dude's playing you off with a bagpipe. You know you're about to play 18 incredible holes, drink too much beer, and have way too much fun. Perfect. I just wanted to share. I felt like it was important.
Well, I'm glad you did. I definitely think we have different. You know what? At least you have. At least you have a like clear set. What's it called? Like picture of what perfect looks like.
Right.
I don't have that.
No. You don't have like the perfect day.
Not really. No, it's more about the people.
Like sunny, you want to be in a certain place doing something that you really love to do.
I'm a homebody.
What's something you really love to do? Like really love to do.
So like a perfect Saturday would be like spending time with loved ones, having downtime. All the laundry's done. I don't have to worry about that crap. And maybe I'm just
such a fucking Latina. It's hilarious. Mi familia.
Yeah, but okay.
Be done.
The laundry's done. It's nice and sunny out. Maybe I'm catching some downtime. I actually love spending time like in a little patch of sun. You've heard this, like how much I got these new chairs for the patio. And like, of course, I text X-Wing and I'm like, look at my sweet new chairs on the patio. I actually would love either a Cold San Pellegrino or a Waterloo and a cigar. And by the way, I just put in an order of cigars because my humidor is looking empty. So
man, yes. I left you with a couple sticks too.
Yeah, they're all gone.
That's good though. Yeah, that means you're smoking. I think I think cigars get kind of a bad rap. They get a bad rap, but as long as you're smoking cigars properly and you're not smoking a couple stogs a day, they've actually put studies out that is like it's really not. It's not as bad as they say it is. It's not that bad. It's not like smoking cigarettes where you're inhaling arsenic and all these different kinds of things. No, of course, mouth and throat cancer is always a little bit of a concern for sure. But if you're smoking a couple stogs a month, maybe really non-issue. This is not medical advice, by the way. Please do your own research. I don't want to get stupid. I got freaking throat cancer because of X-Wing. Not my fault. What's up, TXC Cam? Shout out. Alan is in the chat. What's up, Alan? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Oh, look at who this is. Please answer your text after your live. What? Bop, boop, bop, bop, bop. Hi-oh. Anyways. Which actually reminds me, Drunk 3PO, if anybody doesn't know, before we really get rolling into the stream today, I know we have a lot of people kind of filtering in as this thing starts to go live. If you don't already know, a good buddy and I, Drunk 3PO, are working on a project together, and I sent him this promo, and for some reason, I completely forgot to upload it to my channel. But Jay and I, as fed up as we were with everything that's been going on in pop culture, decided to create our own story and do it in a graphic novel. And we have a little sneak peek of what that looks like. And I'm going to show it to you right now. They're here. So be it. Forgive me, Father.
Did you make that yourself?
Yeah.
That was actually very impressive. You know,
What do you mean, actually?
Well, it's very impressive that you're, you know, you're a man of many talents, okay? You're a musician, you're a cowboy, you're a professional man who manages a department. You're a skilled podcaster, you are an expert in Star Wars. You know, blacksmithing and making chainmail. Like, can I go on?
Stop. Seriously, stop.
You're a man of the, like, you're a modern day Renaissance man.
Joe,
And
you
you
make
edit.
me blush.
And you edit. I mean, that's impressive.
Making me blush.
Let yourself be complimented.
I thank you. I do. Yeah, we're really excited for this project. I think it's going to be awesome for anybody who just misses the old breed of stories, the good stories. This is perfect. It's right up your alley. It's what you're looking for. If you were a fan of Star Wars, if you were a fan of Star Trek, if you're a fan of The Punisher, if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, if you're a fan of any of the great stuff, I feel like we had this slug of amazing content from like 75 to 2005, and then everything took a dive, and we're just kind of living in that space. But look at this. Drunk 3PO member for 30 months says this chat is free. John Ambler says so is this one, member for 5 months. And then a super chat from the man himself. Drunk 3PO says I paid for this one. Well, buddy, this one is for you. It's time to shake it out. Turn your speakers up. Let's get loose. That makes me happy. And then Cornboy for $1.99 sends a super sticker. Shout out, Cornboy. Good to see you, brother. Okay. Now buy some Vindicta merch. Yeah, so we had a little kerfuffle. We had a little mix-up. We were thinking it was going to be a limited release. And then, unfortunately, the one thing I was most excited about, the beer hoodie, there was a bit of a stock issue with the beer hoodie, and a lot of people got refunded because it was a limited release, and they were not going to have stock for something like well, it was a long time. I don't remember. It was too long. So they called us and they said, hey, here's the deal. We're going to put your stuff back up and we're going to leave it there, which was huge by 9 Line Apparel. So shout out to 9 Line Apparel for hooking us up on that one. It's huge. I feel like they made it right. That'll be up there. So if you want to support this story, if you want to support small creators trying to get out there and actually bring back some good storytelling, and at the same time support your veterans, which we so dearly love, please drop by. Check out the Vindicta merch here on 9 Line Apparel. Grab yourself a shirt, a hat. We got combos. We got everything you need.
Yeah, I may have just gone this weekend. I went on a little shopping trip, you know, a little bit too much extra time on my hands. So I went on 9 Line Apparel and bought myself more stuff. Already had the whole lineup, but, you know, Drunk 3PO does have an entire, yes, beautiful, beautiful merch, soft t-shirt material for the men. It gives you a nice fitted look without, you know, it's perfect. You know, like you get those, what are those very expensive, like generic t-shirts that everyone gets hyped about classics? These are better than classics. Okay, I've seen classics. Classics are great. But I feel like 9 Line Apparel gives that nice svelte look. It's a little svelte on a man. It like makes you look, you know, it complements the figure on a guy. On a girl too, they got some nice V-necks, you know, if you're into that. So yeah, I'm a fan. And I got myself that zip up hoodie with the little logo on the front and the big logo on the back. It's very nice. It's very soft.
Too. They look good. I don't know.
They do.
They look good. We don't deserve 9 Line, but Jay's super famous and awesome. So we were lucky enough to squeak our way in there. So shout out Drunk 3PO. He says, I like these Saturday streams. I like them too.
Me too.
Okay. So we're going to have to do this look, I almost took a vow. I almost took an oath to like not talk about Star Wars anymore. It has been one of the most freeing experiences of my life not being a dedicated Star Wars channel anymore, because it was like bashing my face against concrete, trying to find out like, what do we even talk about? What do we do? And lo and behold, I completely forgot about it until it started popping up on Twitter. Star Wars Celebration is going on in Japan right now. Do you want to see how it's going? Do you want to take a little look? Do you want to see?
I was already excited about one thing. I don't know if you know this. I'm a huge Darth Maul fan. And I'm a huge Sam Witwer fan. So we'll talk about that in a second. I love Sam.
We'll talk about that, but just the general vibe from Star Wars Celebration. So there's a friend of the channel, an Aussie named Raging Rhino, who was doing live coverage of Star Wars Celebration. And I just want you to take a look at the vibe at Star Wars Celebration right now.
Here we go. Awkward.
Nubs.
Stop trying to make it happen. That's just never gonna happen. Stop trying to make it happen. Wow.
Did you hear the one guy in the background go,
Yeah.
woo?
That was awkward.
Listen to the woo. Hold on.
All right.
That's so cringe. That's so cringe.
So this is not an isolated incident, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on at Star Wars Celebration. There's a part of me that has to believe at least a portion of it can be attributed to the fact that like the Japanese audience is probably not as loud and boisterous at this event as like in LA.
Actually, that's very true of Japanese and Korean cultures. Like at concerts, they're actually respectful. They all sit in their seats, even at like K-pop concerts, and they have like to show enthusiasm. They go like, if they have some kind of like thing, they go like this. Yeah. So it might be more. I mean, granted, there's probably some level of people are just not that into it. But it's also cultural.
I mean, it's an international event, right? So I mean, they had this dude go into the crowd and he's rolling around and he's talking to the people there, and like, you know, obviously they get a mic stuck in their face and they're like, yeah, very happy to be here, blah blah blah. But it's the vibe is not there. And I just saw from Jay, they removed an entire day of celebration from YouTube, the KK interview. They've never removed any celebration from the past. So I watched the KK interview live because I was very interested to see what happened, and it was like a mortuary in there. Nobody was cheering, nobody was saying anything, and she tried some crowd work, and she's like, right, a lot of love in this room, right, a lot of love in this room, and it was just
awkward.
Like, woo. It's just freaking bad. So I don't know. Look, here's the thing. I had my own processes when it came to like moving on from Star Wars. And I'm at the point now, luckily, thanks to some good friends and a bit of alcohol and some great conversations, I'm over it. You know what I mean? Some
therapy, some sessions on betterhelp.com.
I mean, look, like behind me is a very small section of what this entire office looks like, filled front to back, top to bottom with Star Wars stuffs, like everywhere. This was a bad breakup for me, a very bad breakup for me. And it took some time, but now I'm at the point where I can just laugh about this stuff. You know what I mean? I can laugh about it. So when I hear Ryan Gosling is going to be a starfighter pilot in Star Wars, I can't help but laugh. And
wait, is that a real thing?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear that one.
Star Wars Starfighter featuring Ryan Gosling in 2027.
Okay.
What the fuck are you doing?
You can't make this shit up.
Maybe they're getting desperate and they're like, we need the thirsty housewives to get on board and buy some tickets because we need good sales.
We got to get those Prozac moms in the theater because you know they're going to drag the kids along. You know what I mean?
That means we're going to get at least one shirtless scene. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That thing's having a will always have bears. Yeah, he was looking at you, kid. Yeah, I don't know. So, you know, hold on. I'm going to share let's take a trip down memory road really quick. There was a long time ago I ran this show. Hold on, it's gonna be around here somewhere. Here we go. All right, for 60 seconds, just relax and just soak this in, okay?
One X-Wing? Great. We're saved.
I'll look around until I found someone who laughs like you.
The Star Wars We Love was a show that I used to put on a long time ago with Jay, actually. Still the most popular live stream that's ever been on this channel before, which shows you how much love still exists for George Lucas's trilogies. Back in the day, okay, Star Wars, something that George did was he might sprinkle in somebody well-known here or somebody well-known there. But for the most part, you cast nobodies. Why? Because he's telling a story. This fucking guy, I swear to God. He's telling a story in a galaxy far, far away, right? And that was such an important thing that you got these no-name peoples because it added to the verisimilitude. It was believable. You didn't know who these people were.
And it also wasn't going to be overshadowed by star power. Like, it was... The star of the show was the show. The star of the show was the movie, the story. It wasn't like, oh my God... This is my favorite actress ever, so I'm gonna go watch this.
Yeah.
And exactly. I mean, there was not Andor the show, but what's the movie that Andor was from?
Rogue One.
Rogue One, thank you. Like, Diego Luna is an international superstar. Like, if you're international film fan, like, Diego Luna's been around forever. Apparently. What's that?
Hates Republicans, apparently.
Oh, he's a little prick. Sorry, but my point was he's very, very famous. He's really well regarded as an incredible actor. Like, right. If anyone's an indie film fan, like Y Tu Mamá También was like one of like one more time. Oscar. Y Tu Mamá También. It was a teen coming like the movie where
Mom. What is it?
And Your Mom as well. Oh, so it was a story about him and his best friend, and they were teenagers, and they took a road trip with this older woman, and they lost their virginity. It was like a teenage coming of age movie that was very well received. It was like one of those art flicks that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he was like, it literally put him on the map, and he was like up there in terms of like everybody knows who he is. If you speak Spanish, you know who Diego Luna is. So it was really cool, like to put an internationally famous actor in a movie, but it still wasn't going to be overcast. Like, it wasn't going to be like, I'm going to go watch Rogue One because of Diego Luna. It wasn't like you're putting in, I don't know, Justin Bieber in a film or something, and having all his fans go watch it. Like, that's what I feel is going to happen with, like, you're putting in a household name like Ryan Gosling.
Ryan frickin' Gosling. I just don't know how to feel about it. I mean, whatever. I don't have a problem with Ryan Gosling at all. He's been in a couple movies I really like, so I don't think I have like a problem with his acting or anything like that. I just feel like it's gonna be weird to see Ryan Gosling like Red 6 in an X-Wing, like, it feels weird. It feels messed up. I don't know. I don't like it. He's great, but Star Wars, dude, I don't know how to feel about it, but that's...
Would you feel the same way if Keanu Reeves was cast as a villain or, whatever? He's going to be... Keanu Reeves is now one of the, let's make him a Sith. Pop up a new character, boom.
Well, that's a tough one. I think that's a tough one because for so long we've been fan casting Keanu Reeves as Revan forever. So, I mean, to me, as somebody who like loves the Revan story, I know the Revan story. I know Keanu Reeves. I know what kind of actor he is, how he would play the role. That's different to me. And beyond that, he's also like, I don't know what it is about Keanu Reeves. He's my favorite celebrity in the freaking world. He doesn't seem so presumptuous that it would work. If that makes sense. I don't know.
He's the most like normal celebrity ever. Well, he's not like any other, you know. We've all heard stories about how he's very down to earth, donates a lot of his money. Yeah, he's just a dude. He's a dude with a lot of, you know,
money,
gun training.
And a lot of gun training too, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would just work. He's got the martial arts background. He's got the gun training. Like, he's a down to earth dude. I think at that point it's just like an acceptance that Keanu Reeves would be dope as Revan. I think it'd be cool. Let's hit some super chats really quick. Margaret Riggle for 20. What's up, Margaret? Says, love to read and get away from it all. Can't wait for years. I'm excited to get this in your guys' hands. I really am. I hope we don't let you down, because there's a lot of story left to tell as well. Anjanette Jensen Majoran gifted 1 X-Wing membership. Shout out, Anjanette. Thank you for the gifty. Marker Reality for 5 says they can't replace real Star Wars audience with a bunch of tourists who don't really care about the IP or the modern audience. You hit that on the nose. That's the problem. There was so much weight behind the Star Wars fandom. They had a lot of weight, and they just completely shedded all of it. They got rid of all of the weight that they had, all the momentum they had, all the goodwill of the fan base. They just got rid of all of it, and they're like, screw them. We don't want 40-year-olds in our park. Let's make a park for these people, for the modern audience. We want to see, you know what we want? A lesbian witch coven. That's what we should put in Star Wars.
Here's what's the dumb thing, though. The 40-year-old people are the ones that have the money now. They're the ones with the stable jobs and the 401ks and the 2.5 kids and a white picket fence. And they're the ones who are taking their kids to the parks and buying merch for their kids and for themselves.
Yep.
I have a hard time, like, with IPs not understanding that you'll never have a more rabid fan base than the ones that grew up with something and it's part of their lives. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, some 20-year-old schmuck, Gen Z schmuck, is not going to ever feel the same way about a Star Wars show than someone who literally grew up watching the OG3. You know what I'm saying? Like, as part of their childhood. Just
36.
Not going to happen.
It's 6 now.
Sorry, OG6. Yeah, but I'm just, you know.
It is the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. I understand that. But at this point now, I've just basically looped like George Lucas Star Wars into one bag, and then there's everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out Marker Reality. Thank you for the 5. And then a member for 8 months says Sydney Sweeney is Darth Talon. Oh, shit. Do you know who Darth Talon is? So she's a Twi'lek that has like the
yeah, I know what a Twi'lek is. I know enough.
Oh, okay, all right. So she's got the Leku and everything, but she's got the same look as Darth Maul. So the red skin with the tattoos and everything, like she's a Zabrak. And she was deadly. She was very deadly and very freaking hot. Anjanette, member for 8 months, says 8 months at last, a stream at a time I can watch. I know we have so many international viewers, it gets difficult sometimes for us to get everybody in when we can, but these Saturdays are great.
We have to talk about that X-Wing when we'll talk about it offline, but we might work on a time that works better for everyone.
Yeah. You know what schmuck means in Yiddish? I don't.
The same thing as schmuck in English?
I've just always thought schmuck meant schmuck, just like a shithead, just a annoying person. No? Is it way worse? Okay.
I don't know. I'm just assuming.
I'm looking forward to getting into that one. Marker Reality for 2 says some Gen Z schmuck. You sound like my mom.
Me? Yeah.
Some schmuck.
Is that not? Do kids not? Tabitha and I were actually having this. I don't think this was off air. Yeah, it was off air. How we both have a tendency to say phrases or like sayings that are kind of a little outdated, and I don't realize it. So we've been trying to incorporate some.
I feel like schmuck is timeless, right?
I thought so, but apparently it's not.
That never goes away. Schmuck. That's that's what Grandma said. He's a schmuck.
He's a schmuck.
He's a schmuck. You want to see another schmuck?
Go for it.
Look at this schmuck.
Oh God. Okay. I'm sorry. I know I talked about this already with you, but I cannot get over those freaking boots. I'm convinced those are okay. I've seen women wear those boots. Like, I've seen women trying to be like a cowboy or like sexy wearing those boots. I don't know what he was possibly thinking when he's like, I'm going to pair some shorts with these really sexy leather boots that just look so fetch. Like they're so cowboy.
What are those?
What are those?
So
He's not okay in the head.
I don't know about this guy, man. And the problem is I get compared to him all the time. They're like, oh shit, it's Pedro Pascal. Look,
You
it's
do
Pedro
look like him.
Pascal. I'm like, shut no!
It's the mustachio.
Sorry, no.
Is he okay? Serious question. I don't know enough about him. Is he gay? And it's fine if he is. That would explain a lot. But being like, do we know if he has a?
Maybe he just came from flying.
They're waterproof, functional.
I don't know, man. I don't know if he's just got somebody that's dressing him and it's ridiculous or what.
Fire that person. Fire that. That literally looks like your house is on fire and you were naked and you had to grab the first 3 items of clothing on the floor and that's what you ended up with.
Shit. What do I get? Like, I've got business casual shorts, gay pirate boots, and my dad's button down from work. Let's get out of here.
I would say his mom's boots or whatever. I don't know because those are not. I'm 100% sure those are not men's boots. They cannot be.
Yeah,
they cannot be.
Wild. I don't know. How do you feel about statues, though?
Depends on the statue. I mean, I have a bunch of collectible shit in my house.
How do you feel about groping statues? I guess is what I meant to ask.
I think it's weird, but I know men do it.
Just men?
Okay, are you gonna tell me that a woman is gonna grope a statue?
I can do you one better. Well, let's start with your point. It's just a statue. What men would do if they could.
Notice how her tits are literally like shaped.
Polished?
Yes. I mean, put his mouth on it. Gross.
That's gross, right? Okay, so you like put his mouth on it. That's disgusting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, men are pigs. That's gross, right?
I've seen some of my friends do this in real life, so I knew immediately. I'm like, men do this. Like, it's just a thing.
You want to see another example?
Sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Women are pigs. Did you know
they
that?
are. Yes,
You know that?
I did.
Women are pigs. Because in France, the Victor Noir anti-imperial French journalist grave, it is supposed that rubbing on the face and crotch increases fertility. And look at that thing worn right down to the shiny brass on the crotch, worn right down to the shiny brass on the face. And then for some unknown reason, if you look at the top right, the bottoms of his shoes are polished too.
Wait, so they do this to increase fertility?
That's the thing. That's what they say.
Who is this guy? And I wonder if he's like, I should have been alive for this.
He was an anti-imperial French journalist, and they've got a bust over his grave, a little Han Solo and Carbonite thing going on. And these girls walk up and they like rub all their things all over the statue.
How are they not walking away with like serious like dermatitis? Something. I'm like, I wasn't even gonna go there. I was just gonna go with like some kind of like rash.
I'm just saying, there's 2 sides to every story, right? Men are pigs, but hey.
I've actually seen, I've never brought this on the show, but I saw on the Twitter, perhaps bronze body paint. Where is this?
Sorry, that's funny.
You're good. I've seen videos of a similar situation, similar thread of women being disgusting. And it's like, I've seen, thanks to X, apparently women posing with horses and insinuating like, you know what, with horses. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah. So yes, you are 100% correct. It's both sexes. People are just depraved. That's just a depravity.
Come on, that's funny as fuck. I don't know. You're gonna have to ask the French government, but yeah. So there you go.
Yikes.
It buffed out. Okay, so you were excited about a particular project that came out of Star Wars Celebration.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us?
It's announced that Maul Shadow Lord is going to be the show, one of the shows that they are going to be working on. I think it's coming out in 2026. I don't know the details.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was nervous because it's my favorite character. It's Sam Witwer's version of Darth Maul. And if you guys don't know who Sam Witwer is, Sam is one of us. Okay, he's a true nerd. He's a very good-looking true nerd. So I was actually surprised the first time I actually saw him talking, and I was like, dude, he's legit. He actually is probably one of the, like, on the level of X-Wing or any of the people who are, like, extended universe, read all the books, expert, to the fact that he actually corrected Dave Filoni. Do you know the story of when he corrected Dave Filoni?
Yep, I sure do. It's about dinner with Padme.
Yep, where he said, we're going to have this scene where Shmi's going to finally get to meet Padme. And Sam goes like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm just a new guy, but you're wrong. And he thought, he was like, thought I was going to get fired on the spot for this. But he's like, actually, Shmi actually met Padme when, in episode 1, when they went back to the house. And he was like, oh shit, I can't believe it. You're right. So yeah. Detail oriented.
Super basic. Should have thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways. Yeah.
Where do you see that level of, you know, like right now we live in an era of screw the IP, screw the source material. I don't care. I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to do my own story kind of thing. Literally breaks the universe where to the point where, what was this last show? The one with the power of the power of many, the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Where stuff happened. The character that shouldn't have been alive, you know, what are you doing? Like to the point where we have to go back into the wikis and change someone's entire history because they were somewhere they shouldn't have been. That's ridiculous. You know, screw the source material. Now we've got someone who's a legitimate fan, knows intimate knowledge of the entire source material, has a podcast, he talks about it, he plays D&D, great guy. He gets cast as Maul. He also was in the video game. What was he? Star
Killer.
Star Killer. Also did a fantastic job there. But he's coming back. And a lot of people are upset about this because, one, they're worried that they're going to ruin a lot of people's favorite characters with Disney Star Wars. And also, we already know the entire arc of what happens between Clone Wars and Rebels.
Right.
So where are we going with this?
Probably more rewrites to history, if I had to imagine. A lot of this stuff gets touched on in various different books as well. I mean, they talk about Palpatine, you know, finding this young Zabrak basically in a marketplace and like takes him from his mother. This has the potential to be cool. If there was somebody that I wanted to be involved with the project, it would be him. But I still think that he is criminally misused in the Star Wars universe. I know a lot of people say like, you know, bullshit shenanigans. I don't like the way Force Unleashed ended and how it started, you know, the rebellion. For me personally, I think it would have been incredible to use. So you have a secret apprentice of Darth Vader who revolts and winds up getting killed, and the rebellion finds his family crest, the Merrick family crest, and it's the freaking symbol. It's the symbol from the rebellion. Like, it's such an incredible story. I think it could have been awesome to use. I think they could have done a lot. Sam Witwer apparently doesn't age because he looks the same now as he did 15 years ago. He could have been used endlessly in all these different movies. And not to mention, if you put that guy in paint and put some horns on him, he wouldn't be a bad ball. Like,
and he's an excellent, he's not just a good voice actor. I've watched him on, what was the vampire show he did?
No idea.
Terrible. Well, he did a great sci-fi show. You guys know I'm a big sci-fi fan, so I used to watch sci-fi, and it was Almost Human, one of my favorite shows of back in the day, where he was a vampire, his buddy was a, he was a vampire, his buddy was a werewolf, and their other roommate was a ghost. It was a great story. Great actor, great acting chops, not just vocally. He's just, you know, he can actually act in real life too. So I think, I agree. I think they need to actually use him in a live action. I would be there for it.
Not gonna see it.
It's never gonna happen. But yeah, this is what they're saying. Takes place between the prequels and the OG trilogy. Includes unused ideas from George Lucas. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe they're unused for a reason. Hopefully they're better than what Disney's coming up with. Maul is training a red Twi'lek apprentice. And Twi'lek. George Twi'lek? Sorry. I mostly read it, so I don't. And George Lucas's sequel trilogy would have been Darth Talon as one of the villains.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a little bit of speculation. We don't know if any of that is true. Darth Talon could be the Twilight apprentice. We don't know. We don't know. But
that would make you happy.
I don't know. I'm kind of out of it at this point, to be perfectly honest with you. They keep releasing a bunch of animated stuff, and the animated stuff, to be perfectly honest, is like leaps and bounds ahead of what they're doing in live action. But still, it just whoa! Panda Simone with 100.
What's up, Panda?
Panda says, X-Wing, you are my sane person in an insane world. Thank you, Panda. Oh my gosh, you beautiful human being. Holy cow. But let's not forget, I'm not totally sane, right? I'm actually screw loose, because one of my favorite Star Wars...
Hey, even Wookiees need a little love. Have you ever heard a Wookiee's fantasy? You don't want to make her angry. Or do you? Call now at 1-900.
All right.
Are you trying to discourage people from super chatting? I'm just saying, because that's what I would be like. Why did I super chat that 100?
All right. How about this? For the 100 from Panda Simone, let's hear your best Shuri Wook. Let's hear your Wookiee growl.
I can't do that.
You can do it. You have to try. It's $100.
You do it.
I can't do it.
That was a lot better than mine.
Shout out Panda Simone for the 100. Let's go.
You also have some other super chats that you got.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's hit some super chats before we pile through the rest of these. Holy cow! Oh my gosh, I missed a whole bunch. We were talking too much. S.S. Jallo, excuse me, member for 3 months says I can fix Darth Talon. A couple other people thought that too. They wound up dead. Does the statue take batteries? We get that one was funny. Deborah Perkins with a 50. Let's go, Deborah. What's up, Deborah? My sweet. I freaking love this woman. Happy Saturday to my Sir Wing and my beauty JoRosie.
What's up, Debbie? The fabulous Debbie.
The fabulous. Always drinking white wine and having a good time. Always love and support. Shout out Deborah Perkins. Thank you so much for the 50. Thank you for the support on the channel. You guys are being insane today. Holy cow. Justin Martins for 10 says the look on Joe's face with the statue immediately followed by the look on X-Wing's face when she mentioned the horse. You guys are scarring each other.
Yeah.
That's what we do. It's kind of our thing. What can I say? C&D Designs for 5 says Disney is the devil. Hail Vindicta. We are the rebellion. Good to see you, chat. Shout out C&D Designs. I am so excited. Have you seen this on Twitter floating around, his profile picture?
Mm-mm. Are those 3D printed?
Those are 3D printed skulls with crowns of thorns and the Vindicta logo on the front.
That's pretty badass. By the way, I used to own a very nice 3D printer. Guess what I made with it? The only thing I ever made with it.
Wieners.
How'd you know? No, the little boat that you first make. You know what I'm talking about? The little boat that's like the test thing. That's all I ever made.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Oh.
A lot of mistakes were made.
It a filament one, the one that prints from the top down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have the resin printer that it's like Isengard, like it dips into the mud and then it slowly drags out the shape. It's so freaking cool, man. I love that thing. Shout out C&D Designs. Very, very, very excited for that stuff to come in the mail. Schick74 for $1.99 says, Happy Easter. Pray for my dad having heart issues in the ICU.
I am so sorry.
I
been there, literally been there praying for you. Yeah.
Literally just went through that with my dad, but he came out on the other side. So T's and P's, thoughts and prayers. Absolutely. We're with you, Schick. Everybody in the chat, make sure you say a little something up there. It's a great weekend for it, for sure. And then Panda Simone with 100. Wait. Shell Frogs with another 100.
Let's go.
Shell Frogs says X-Wing and JoRosie, happy Easter and God bless you and your beautiful families. Always love and respect. Shell Frogs, you absolute legend, you beautiful human being. She just sent over a custom dragon and a St. Jude's gaming shirt for my daughter. It was the most beautiful thing. And this gorgeously written letter that got me all kinds of freaking emotional. You guys never cease to amaze me with your generosity, with the sense of community that we have here in the Hangar Bay. I absolutely love it. Shell Frogs, you're incredible. You're going to get to see me shake my butt half naked now. So that's what you get. That's what you paid for. That's what you get.
At least it's better than the
clip. I forget I'm on the fucking internet.
The old Portland shuffle.
Chat's making it rain today.
I know. You guys are incredible. Holy cow. Thank you so much for all the support. That is, it means more than you know. That is incredible.
By the way, Mark of Reality says, I had a 3D printer and you did not make a bat laugh. Listen, I didn't know what I was doing with that thing. It was, what was that? There's a website that has all of the actual, like, it has an entire, like, if you're not good at CAD, it has an entire, I think it's thingy.com.
Yeah, there's Thingiverse.
Thingiverse
is a big one. Yeah, but you know what the best place for STL files is? Etsy, bro.
Really? That actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh my God. Etsy has incredible STL files and they're dirt cheap. And so you just go on there, you buy it, and then they email you the STL file.
That's pretty awesome.
Really good stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't very good at it. I always ended up putting it like, I don't know, something was wrong and it ended up being melted mess. So
that
didn't work out for me. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyways, Darth Maul series could be cool. I'm at the point now where I'm not holding my breath. I'm gonna watch all this stuff though. So I'm gonna watch Andor season 2. I'm gonna watch Maul. I'm gonna watch Starfighter for sure.
What about Ahsoka too? I didn't watch I am an Ahsoka fan because I think I've told you this. I was always not into Star Wars because of personal reasons. My older brother, who I'm not, it's a half brother thing. Anyway, my half brother was a huge Star Wars fan, and he's much older than me, and I hated it because I didn't like him very much. And then I gave it a chance when I watched the Clone Wars, and then I was just like, this is amazing. And then I went back and watched them all, and I was like, I love it. So I love Ahsoka. I love the Clone Wars. So I was very excited for the live action, then I never ended up watching it because I felt like it was going to ruin the character for me. So I never watched it.
So the live action Ahsoka show essentially bastardizes a portion of a very, very important story to me. Actually, I have it's right here. Here I have my first edition, Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. And because it was so important to me, signed here by Timothy Zahn to X-Wing, Heir to the Empire. First edition. Thrawn is like one of the most important characters in Star Wars to me. If you were somebody who decided to take the leap and stay in Star Wars after the movies when you were a kid, you had to dive into the expanded universe. And Thrawn was the guy in the expanded universe. He was the dude. He was not a villain. He wasn't a hero. He was this ambiguous, awesome character that just like made the universe. It grew the universe a lot. And so in Ahsoka, Dave Filoni attempts to bastardize Heir to the Empire and bring Thrawn in, and does him such disservice that I disown the Ahsoka series entirely.
How do you feel about Thrawn being used in Rebels?
He was okay in Rebels, but like they did the thing that people do when they don't know how to write. They made Thrawn dumb so that the plot could move forward. Basically, Thrawn gets outsmarted by these kids because the plot needed to happen. They didn't really come up with like a good creative way where Thrawn could have, because the problem with Thrawn is that he's always 17 steps ahead of everyone. He knows everything about you just from studying art. He knows he's
a genius.
Unbeatable. Yeah, he's a freaking genius. And so like to have him, ousted and beat by these kids because the plot needed to happen, not a huge fan. But when it comes to like how he was portrayed in terms of like voice and stuff like that, I thought they did a pretty good job, because I'm used to Mark Thompson's Thrawn, and he did an absolutely wonderful job. So holy crap, Deborah Perkins with another 50 says, let's fucking go. I can't let Shell Frogs and Panda Simone make me look cheap. Haha. Loved X-Wing from day one. My girl. Oh my God. What do I have? I don't think I have anything else.
Just say thank you.
We can do a butt shake. We have to do a butt shake, right? Let's do a butt shake. You want to dance a little bit? Let's dance.
Clipped. I forget I'm on the fucking internet.
I did offset the naked guy with a little bit of boobs too, so I feel like it's pretty fair.
There's a lot of boobs there. A lot of really nice boobs. Oh, I think they're fake because they look a little too pretty.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. You don't know her. You don't know that. Okay,
I'm not judging. I'm just saying, nice boobs, but asterisk on them.
They are almost like too perky.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. Nick Murfakri says, I've hated X-Wing from day one. I'm his biggest hater. You know it, brother. Shout out Murfakri. Okay, I have to pee or I'm going to kill someone. What were we moving on? So, Star Wars Celebration. I think we still have, 2 days left? I think it goes through the weekend. And then on Tuesday, Andor Season 2 starts. First step. Actually, I think they're releasing 2 episodes on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to watch it. Did you watch Andor Season 1?
Mm-mm.
I guess it's not all that important to you then.
No, it's not. I didn't give a crap. Because it's like, to me, it's like, it's the same kind of concept of this new Darth Maul show. It's like, well, you know how it ends. Well, it's like, to me, Andor is like, well, you know how it ends. Kind of.
Rogue One, yeah.
Yeah.
But
which I love Rogue One.
I don't have a problem with that in Star Wars, though. And I've had this debate a million times with people. They're like, we know how the story ends. I'm like, why'd you watch the fucking prequels?
That's true.
You know how the story ends. You know what I mean? So that one's always been
But they had story to tell, though. They had, so did Andor, I guess. But
yeah, Andor did for sure. I loved it. It was like, this kind of early rebellion. Okay, seriously, I'm gonna pee my chair. I'll be right back.
Go. I guess where we pick up with that is I was saying that Ahsoka season 2. What? Oh, jeez. I guess where I was going with that is that Hayden Christensen's coming back as the ghost of himself, not himself, of Anakin. So Anakin Skywalker makes a comeback in Ahsoka season 2 as a Force ghost. So awesome. I actually love Hayden Christensen as Anakin, and I feel bad that I made fun of him for years for being a bad actor, and it really wasn't. It was just maybe just the director and also the script. But his delivery of some lines now are iconic to me. His "I hate sand" speech and his "I killed them all, the women and the children too." But anyway, I'm not going to make fun of him anymore because I just think at this point it's iconic. I haven't gotten to say hello to the chat, so I'm going to actually go ahead and back it up a little bit. What's up, Nick? Unless you admit it, unlike other people, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I see Jerry D. Sills in the chat. What's up, Jerry D. Sills? And he has a 20. I can't share screen, but I will read it for you. He's got a poem. 6 foot, all in black, master of the dark side, constant attack with lightsaber bright red, a smile with yellow eyes, seeing Jedi dead. His hate and power has no loss. Formerly, Jerry D. Sills is the Sith Lord poet Darth Haast. Thank you for that wonderful poem, Jerry, and thank you for the $20. I'm sure X-Wing will read again when he gets back from his urinary break. John Ambler in the chat. Hello to everybody, especially all the usual suspects plus the mods and wonderful mods. Debbie, obviously, mod. Nightsaber in the chat. What's up, Nightsaber? Queen Comics wife. Hello, Mrs. Comics wife. So Queen Comics wife, as well as I'm sure Comics himself is in the chat. Comics dad is in the chat. So I was just going through the chat real quick.
Shout out Comics. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Nick wants me to pronounce his last name. Listen, English is not my first language, and that doesn't even look like it's English. So, Murfactory. That's as close as it's gonna get.
That's about where I'm at. Yeah, Murfactory. Yeah. And then I think we had a super chat as well from the Sith Lord. 6 foot in all black, master of the dark side's constant attack, with lightsaber bright red, a smile with yellow eyes, seeing Jedi dead. His hate and power has no lost. Formerly Jerry D. Sills is the Shid Lord, poet Darth Host. I like it.
I like it too. By the way, if you had Jedi powers, if you had the Force, should I say, Sith, Grey, or Jedi?
There's no such thing as the Grey Jedi! Sorry.
But there is. Okay. So what do you say for those people who are not quite aligned with the Jedi, but they haven't really gone with the Sith way?
Just Force users.
Just Force users.
Yeah. There's no such a Grey Jedi directly contradicts with Jedi. Like
absolutely. I get it.
Yeah.
My problem is I would not be able to be a emotionless monk. And I'm also way too angry to not be a Sith. So it would just naturally happen. I would just embrace the dark side. The only downside I have is that you're just become ugly and disfigured. Like you were literally, there's like, I forgot who is one of the Sith that's literally like their face is literally broken. It's just, he's literally held together by his hatred.
Oh yeah, he's on the cover of holy shit, why can't I remember his name? Yeah, he's got the mask. He's on the cover of one of the Old Republics. Holy shit, what is his name? Darth? Oh, this is gonna piss me off.
Sorry.
Sith with the mask. With the white mask. What the hell is it? Nihilus, thank you. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have to get into a little bit of gaming today.
Do you want me to share my screen?
I want you to share your screen.
Let me maximize this.
Malgus had a mask, but it wasn't like he wasn't like the shade. Nihilus was like a shade.
But you're giving me hope with Darth Talon. Like you're telling me that a pretty Sith can exist.
Oh, dude, 100%. Xana.
Yeah. So, starting out here.
Wait, this
Merrick,
is what I thought it was. Okay, talk me through it.
So, Merrick is actually, I think, one of the developers of The Lords of the Fallen. So, he tweeted out, "We just broke the top 10 Steam global bestsellers. Thank you all so much. You made this happen." Now, why this is...
Wait.
What?
We didn't do it. We didn't do the thing.
Oh gosh. I'm sorry.
Officials today announced that video games no longer will be licensed in residential areas. Officials say they are responding to complaints from parents that children have skipped school or stolen money to play the games and made a nuisance of themselves.
Senior citizens.
There's a new economic impact report. It actually indicates that video game industry is booming. It's also generating a lot of jobs nationwide. Gaming industry is booming. When a game investment is up about 2x where it was in 2020 and pre-pandemic levels. So game investment is increasing while the industry, as your great segment just showed, continues to increase.
Gotta do the intro. Welcome to This Week in Gaming.
So sorry that I tried to skip that. My bad.
I totally forgot about it. Okay. Starting on This Week in Gaming.
Yes. So we have this tweet here. Why is this relevant? Is because Lord of the Fallen is a game that is now in the top 10 Steam global bestsellers, and developers were very happy. And why this is newsworthy is because media shit all over it. when it came out earlier this year. We have, the reason why it's shit all over it is that Lord of the Fallen devs and publishers actually were learning from everything that's been happening to other gaming studios with failure upon failure when you make games that are full of DEI. So we have here from PC Gamer, Lord of the Fallen publisher embraces fear of the DEI boogeyman, says it will not include any social or political agendas in its game, and is basically making fun of it since the CI games believe that inclusive games are at high risk of failure, which we all know is true. TheGamer.com, and this was in January, they were all around January when the developer came out and spoke out about DEI. Says Lord of the Fallen dev is wrong about politics, and Elden Ring proves it. I don't know, is Elden Ring kind of wokey? I didn't think it was.
What?
Is it?
In no universe did I see anything woke in Elden Ring.
That's why I'm like, I don't understand this one.
Did they explain it?
Yeah, I'm going to go into this here. So they say that the CI games specifically pledged that it will not include social and political elements in its game. Players do not appreciate it. It's a very flimsy argument that caters to very angry but vocal minorities of player. I wouldn't say vocal minority. Literally, we have how many games that have failed epically? I wouldn't call that a minority. I would call that the majority, since people aren't buying the games. Looking at its inspirations proves how little weight this narrative have. Oh, it's saying Elden Ring is an inspiration. Elden Ring didn't have any DEI. This is a stupid article from The Gamer.
I mean, maybe something, I suppose, okay, look, these people are fucking insane. I suppose somebody could make the argument that, like, the grafted in Elden Ring are somehow, like, tied into transitional surgeries or something, maybe? Fuck, I don't know.
Well, they're saying it's classism. I guess I can see that, but not, like, okay. But isn't that, like, every story? This is a fucking stretch. Like, yes, there could be, every story might have, like, if I write a story and I talk about taxes being, taxation, would this article be able to say, like, oh, well, you're very...
book.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm actually for small government. That's not about DEI shit. But this is a hard lean. Social and political undertones in every Souls-like game. Dark Souls, incredibly critiques of classism. Humanity is subjugated by ruling elite. Okay. That's not the same thing as putting in, removing sex from a game and kind of letting you be in it, they, and kind of forcing it down your throat like Dragon Veil. So, yeah, this is ridiculous. I get it, but no.
So,
and then we have.
I have not played Lords of the Fallen, but after hearing this, I mean, oh, damn shit, maybe I should play some Lords of the Fallen.
Perhaps. I mean, it's a top 10 game, but is this
supposed to be of all time, or for a quarter, or for a fiscal year, or?
It was the top 10 global bestsellers, and then when I actually looked at a few days ago, it was in the top 30. So he was actually going like, oh my god, it keeps going up, and now we're in the top 30 of. Well, I don't know Steam well enough to know what. I don't look at bestsellers, but global bestsellers probably sounds like current bestsellers, but of the entire book.
Let's go to Steam charts. Let's go to Steam charts, tracking what's played. Okay, game is Lords of the Fallen. Whoo, damn, dog. 24-hour change, 700%. Holy shit, look at this.
Because of all this publicity, it's probably getting even more. Like, if you didn't hear about it being anti-DEI, you're probably hearing about it now, because now this is trending. And these articles are making a comeback as people looking them up. Look at this one. They're actually accusing it of using anti-DEI verbiage as a marketing meme to actually get it and frankly, that's why it just went up 400%, because of these dumb articles making a comeback, and the fact that people are like, hey, it's not a DEI game. Let's actually give this a chance.
Yeah, look at this. So, oh crap, I just stopped sharing my screen. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Share this one. Lords of the Fallen Steam charts. Here we go. So, just about 10,000 playing 36 minutes ago. 24-hour peak is about 10,000. All-time peak is 32. Look at this chart here. So, 17th of April, pre-article. 18th, Holy crap! Look at this roller coaster, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. From one article, that just shows you the absolute power of freaking marketing and anti woke bullshit. That's what I'm saying. I might be part of this, dude. If they were like, yeah, we don't want any of that in our game, and the studio was behind it.
By the way, you just got.
Oh my god!
Raider!
Raider with a 64, 63 Nintendo 64 and the lesser known console Nintendo 63. That's why he dropped those. And a gifties! 10 gifties for the Hanger.
Let's go.
Let's go! Shout out Raider. What's up, buddy? You know what you have to get. You know you're gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry. You get
so clipped. I forget I'm on the fucking internet.
Shout out Raider for the 64, 63 and the 10 gifties. I hope you're doing well, brother. What are you up to today? You never say hi in chat. You just
comes in, drops it on the table.
Yeah, that gross veiny thing, lays it on the table, doesn't say a word to me, just stares at me in the eyes. It's kind of gross, but I mean, I appreciate it. But Biggles Mets is in the chat. What's up? Member for 6 months says, hi, Joe and X-Wing. The Gamer is a trash site. What's up, Sidecar? Good to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Jerry D. Sills for 2 says, shitlord, X-Wing needs a Count Dooku haircut. I just got that. Count Dooku haircut. Do you get that?
No, I don't get it. I just put
his head off.
Oh, I was actually like envisioning him, and I'm like
Count Dooku was a haircut?
No, I was like literally trying to imagine. Like, wait, I was like, Count Dooku was actually a pretty like classy looking older gentleman.
Yeah, he was a well put together guy.
Yeah, I thought he was good looking.
Shout out one more time to Raider. Thank you so much, brother. It's good to see you back here, man. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're not traveling too much. Relax, stay home a bit. Okay, let me stop my screen. What do you got here?
That was it.
Oh, okay. I do want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about one thing really quick because I feel like this is an interesting conversation. Hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. Present the Switch 2. Okay. Honest question. Yes or no? Are you buying it?
Nope.
Why?
Okay. I was a day one for Switch. Okay. I just don't feel excited about the Switch 2. I don't understand why everyone's such in arms about the pricing. Like, consoles are very expensive at this point. This is standard pricing.
Mm-hmm.
I think games have also, like, they've been creeping up. I saw something, actually, I had another article, that I forgot to pull up, where it was saying that an insider said that people or different studios are hoping that, oh my god, Rockstar game. What's the Rockstar game? Shoot and kill people, drive cars, steal cars. GTA 6. I'm not really with it today, guys. I don't know if you've noticed. This is like the 5th time I've had to do that thing. You know, that thing. I'm pulling a Joe Biden. They're hoping that GTA 6 is actually going to cost $100. And they're hoping that if they do that, then other studios will be able to justify raising prices to $100 for AAA games. So that's where we're at in terms of, you know, pricing going up. I'm expecting it. You know, I think they actually were pretty fair with their tariffs. Like, you know, obviously this is coming from an international, you know, company, so tariffs will affect it. Tariffs would be impacting it, and Nintendo's actually eating the cost for the actual device. So the price has not changed from that $449 or whatever it is. But everything else went up. Like the Pro controller went up like 10%. So now it's like $100 or $90 or something like that. So
who the hell is buying this camera?
No one. Hopefully no one.
Well, I mean,
didn't we already try this on like every like we tried it on Xbox, we tried it on other things. Did PlayStation have a camera? I feel like it did.
Yeah. Everybody had some kind of a camera. What was the Xbox one called? I don't remember what it. I had it. It was like
I had it too. Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was dumb. OnlyFans models, yeah.
Look, I don't know. I don't have a problem with the price point on this thing. Yeah, the Connect.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
the price point on this thing. It's a luxury item. That's the bottom line, dude, is that like this is not something that you're going to be forced to buy. If you've got a problem with it, don't fucking buy it, but don't be mad at me that I'm not mad about the price. Like, what am I going to do? Scream at a Japanese guy on Twitter and be like, Mario Kart should be $40. Like, fuck. If that's how you feel, great. And look, no one in my mind is above criticism. No company is ever going to be above criticism. And as somebody who was a Lucasfilm fan, at least back in the day, like, trust me, I get it for sure. But this is a video game. It's a video game. It's a luxury item. The only plausible argument that I'm down for is that somebody who needs the extra $30 to make groceries for the month, but really wants their kid to have the Switch 2 for Christmas or something like that. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is, if $10 for Mario Kart is making or breaking your month, your kid should probably be fucking playing outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I brought
guess
this up on what?
I was going to say, when I was growing up, my family was very humble. We did not have a lot of money. And guess what? As a child, even as a small child, I understood that. And I wasn't expecting the latest, greatest video console. I was really happy with whatever my parents could provide for me. So it's a matter of how you raise your children. And I didn't throw any tantrums. So if my 100%. Parents can do it, so can yours.
And I was talking to my brother about this when Pokemon Snap came out. It was one of the more expensive Nintendo. And dude, those were fucking $90 games. Those were $90 Nintendo games. So what did you do? You went out and you fucking mowed lawns. You washed cars. You did whatever you could to try to make some extra money so you could play your game. Like, where is that scrappy mentality? Like, oh, fuck,
lemonade stands,
like,
whatever.
Use it as a teaching tool. If it's an adult and it's like, shit, I can't afford the extra $10, or like, fuck, I really can't afford $450 right now, then pick up a side hustle. Try to do something else. Start a YouTube channel. Make a little bit, like do, you know what I mean? I just. We live in a capitalistic society, in a consumer-based society. So if you want the nice things, you have to work for the nice things.
Biggles Mets in the chat says he did the same thing. He says, I worked my ass off as a 7-year-old paying for the $80 games. I mowed every effing lawn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. And like, push motors aren't that expensive, dude. I don't know. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what I mean? It's just, if this was a conversation about the prices of eggs, if this was a conversation about the prices of beef, if it was that kind of conversation, I can see being outraged. But the bottom line is, it's a fucking video game console, and they can charge whatever they want. And if it was too expensive for me, I wouldn't buy it. I haven't bought a Steam Deck. I'd sure love to have one, but I'm not writing Steam and going like, screw you, assholes. Make this $100 so I can afford it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, didn't we talk about this at some point? Like, the Ally came out, and the Steam Deck came out. When they came out, it was very much upwards of $500, I think, for the best
really
version.
One, it's like $1,000.
Yeah. You don't hear
or something like that.
Yeah. You don't hear people, complaining about that. But in my defense, I have a Switch. It's a old, like, when it first came out, Switch, and it's all jacked up. I've been through 2 sets of Joy-Cons.
The OG.
Yeah. I have a PS5 that was gifted to me. And I have an Xbox that I bought. So, and a PC. And frankly, I have more games on my Steam account that I've bought and haven't had a chance to play through yet. So I have no reason whatsoever to justify to myself as a responsible adult to buy a Switch too. And that's called also being realistic. I don't care.
You don't care about a new Legend of Zelda?
I don't care.
So anyways, we're going to move on with the rest of the stream here. We've gotten rid of the toxicity here on
It's just, I don't feel like I have time to play it right now. And maybe I probably will buy it. It's just not going to be a day one for me. Let's be realistic. I probably will buy it. It's just not going to be a day one for me. Just because I have a hard time spending that kind of money when I cannot justify it or have a super strong desire that I have to have this. But that's how I always am. I have a hard time.
So that makes sense for me. I'm gonna get it because of Mario Kart World, because we do Wednesday gaming on G&G. Like, gotta have it there for that.
It's a business expense.
I'm buying the Switch 2 for the next Legend of Zelda game. Like, don't get it twisted. That's why I'm buying this game. I'm a psychopath for Legend of Zelda. I absolutely adore that franchise. They have done almost no wrong in my eyes since like the genesis of Legend of Zelda. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'd rather just have it, and then when the game comes out, I'm like ready to go and I can just go play it. But I will not be buying, and this was the other thing they were talking about, the upgraded stuff. So the Switch controller went up, the Joy-Cons went up. Unfortunately, you have to have the Joy-Cons, I think. The camera goes up. All of that crap, I could not give a shit about. I couldn't care less. You can buy a Switch compatible controller on Amazon for like $30.
I do love my Pro controller though.
I have look at this. This is like $30 on Amazon. Works like a charm.
Really?
It's a Switch Pro controller, not branded.
Just off brand, and it works fine.
Yep, works like a dream.
Realistically, I feel like I'm probably gonna feel like left out and eventually cave. But I might come from how I was raised. I was raised to always be money conscious because of how my parents were very humble and didn't have, I didn't come from very rich upbringing. So I have a very, very hard time spending money on myself. I'm very generous with others that I love. But I just can't just justify it this second. But like I said, I'll probably be FOMO'd into it.
It's going to go down. Like, of course it's going to go down. I mean, the original Switch is actually super freaking cheap right now, isn't it?
I don't know. I still have my original one.
Original Switch? Wow. That's the OLED. Never mind. That's the OLED.
I don't think they even sell. Do they even sell the original? I know they sell refurbed. I've seen refurbed ones.
Yeah, it's like $170. Pretty cheap. I didn't get the OLED, so that's something like I don't believe in. When you have the same console and then they re-release the console with upgrades, I refuse to buy that. I refuse. Do you remember when they came out with that the PlayStation Pro and they were like, "Look at how improved the graphics are." I'm like, "What?"
I can't tell, and I don't care.
$700 console and it looks the exact same. Like, get that corn out of my face. I don't care.
I was the person who we ended up getting a 4K. Remember when 4K TVs came out or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
And they were obscenely expensive, and we ended up getting one, and I was just like, okay. And they're like, look at the leaves. It's like you're outside. I'm like, if you cared that much about the fucking leaves, go outside.
It was a showcase.
I don't care. I mean, I don't care. I'm gonna watch a TV show on here. I'm not gonna be like, wow, look at the leaves. It looks like I can see the pores on this person's face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very
that's where
grounded.
I'm
grounded.
So I'm really hoping the video game industry makes a shift, because their focus right now is how high fidelity can we make it? How HD can we make it? How much detail can we pour into the games? Yada, yada, yada. I still go back and love playing Nintendo 64 games. I still go back and love playing Xbox 360 games. I still go back. I'm playing Chrono Trigger, for the love of God, right now, and I'm loving the story. So I'm hoping they make a shift from being super technologically focused about like how detailed can we make it, make a shift back to how do we tell really, really good stories? How do we bring people in with great storytelling and have something for these people to talk about? Because the bottom line is, if I finish a game, I'm not going to go to my buddy and be like, damn, did you see how detailed that road was when I was walking through Whiterun? Like, no, we're going to tell the stories.
That's my point. No one was like, okay, I mean, granted, if you came out a game and it was like trash, unless it was going for that aesthetic, maybe you'd get something. But honestly, I think we've reached the point where graphics are good and I'm happy. I don't need
great.
Yeah, I don't need it to be like, unless you're looking at Tomb Raider, original Tomb Raider, like 8-bit tits, like that's the difference. If you come out with a game like that, granted we probably call it, oh, it's retro, As long as you give us a good story and a good game, I think we're happy.
that's just where I'm at. I mean, we're at the point now where they're developing hardware to be able to put, pores on somebody's face. Like you said, I don't give a shit. I just want a good story. If you give me a game that is incredible looking and the storytelling is shit, I'm not going to be happy. That's the bottom line. I don't care how pretty it is if the storytelling's not there. So, like I said, I hope we make a shift. Nintendo's always been, for me at least, kind of a cornerstone in being, the Legend of Zelda corner of telling really good RPG stories. So I hope it keeps going. I don't know. I'm gonna finish Chrono Trigger. I'm gonna finish it. I'm actually having a shitload of fun with it.
It's good. Sometimes old school games, retro gaming, or just going back to some games that you missed, makes you happy. Yeah.
For me, it's the story. So I will have a lot less fun going back and playing. Actually, I take that back. Bass Fish is probably one of my favorite retro games. I'm trying to think of another one. I would have less fun going back and playing Clay Fighters on a Nintendo 64. It's a retro game, but there's no story to it. You know what I mean? But if you can go back and play a retro game where the storytelling was so epic, it's just the graphical quality and the enhancements that don't match. It's just as enjoyable as one of these new games. So
I'm thinking of finding and playing Castlevania again. That was one of my all-time favorites that I played through.
Never played a Castlevania game ever.
I love Castlevania.
Yeah, never played a Castlevania. I know it's huge. I mean, that's another one. It's like Legend of Zelda. People are fucking crazy about Castlevania.
Yes.
But all right, well, we got to get into racial people stabbing each other.
Okay. Wait, do we have to? Wait, can we start? Can we ease in? Can we show a funny video first? Is
it going to be the first clip of Unbiased?
Yeah, let's do that.
Unbiased!
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
I heard a word I'd never heard before. I was told I was unbankable.
Eat the cat.
Again. You talk about extreme.
I'm still so puzzled by that clip. Did she really say unbangable?
Yes, and she is unbangable.
Insane.
All right,
Why are you wearing a hat inside? Take your hat off.
It's Alex Stein. He always wears a hat.
I know. Take it off, though.
I think it's an interesting look, the suit with a hat.
Yeah. Personally, I'm a traditionalist. Take the hat off. You're inside.
All right, here we go. I thought this was funny.
I'm a little frustrated because if you turn on the TV, all I'm seeing is a bunch of bimbos in space.
The moon! You guys, I will have to tell you, look at the moon.
That's right. They're sending Lauren Sanchez and Oprah Winfrey's, I don't even know what, Oprah Winfrey's lesbian lover, I guess, to space. And I just think that is absolutely ridiculous. It's a waste of resources. Me flying, I'm in the aerospace industry.
He's trolling right now.
I don't want to
right?
try to land my plane and worry about, running into some woman with, silicone breasts or something like that. I mean, listen, are they sending them up to space to try to test the effects of Ozempic on what it does to you in a zero gravity environment? I don't know, but I know that it looks fake. And I'm not saying the Earth is flat, but I'll tell you this much, that originally we went to the moon. It was done by a bunch of Nazis, a guy by the name of Werner von Braun, who was brought up with a thing called Operation Paperclip. Yep. So I don't want to go to space with a bunch of bimbos and Nazis when we got a bunch of problems here in America, especially in Grapevine, that we need solved. I mean, damn, Grapevine knows them all.
That's hilarious, dude. So he's essentially just trying to do what those other crazy SJW liberal psychopaths do.
Yeah, but trolling. He does this all the time. He goes to I don't know where he lives in IRL, but he goes to different cities and goes to their town halls and goes and pretends to be a concerned citizen and just records and films their reactions while he's saying the most ridiculous things.
Space.
I love that.
I'm in my house. That's different.
Listen, he's got his own set of rules that he lives by.
That's a government building, you know what I mean? I tried to take my hat off when I go inside. if I'm wearing a suit, you sure as shit ain't gonna catch me in a ball cap.
Um,
But maybe for that, it's better if he's, kind of covering his face or something.
I don't know if he's recognizable. I know it's because I'm in this space and I know Alex Stein really well. One, from watching. I was a huge Tim Pool fan for a very long time, and that's actually the first place that I saw Alex Stein. And obviously, Alex Stein, the pimp with the blimp, big booty Latinos. He's pretty viral. You know what I'm saying? And he's also been. He's a fan of. He's friends with the FNT and GNG crowd. So, yeah, he's been around. So
I saw that video of him. Actually, it was last night. I was kind of dinking around as the end of the day, and the video popped up of when Trump won. And he was sitting there calling it, and he started crying. I was like, yeah, it was great. That was a good day. That was a good day.
Yeah. Going back to the bimbos in space, obviously was from last week. Everybody talked about it. I think Katy Perry's reaction's freaking ridiculous. And I always hear the imagine being that one lady who was stuck in space for 8 months that had to get rescued by Elon Musk, watching Katy Perry, who's in space, not even space. Like I don't think they crossed the line that
it was
technically
space.
It was not space. Okay, I know that. I know you guys.
It's space.
And listen, someone who when I saw that episode of TNME where you guys were arguing about it, y'all don't understand gravitational forces and centrifugal forces. If you are talking about, was there gravity? Was there not gravity? Like, there's literally a formula that can calculate based off of the distance between two bodies how much gravitational force you have. So there's no such thing as was there gravity or not.
Mesosphere and they passed the Kármán line in space.
Yeah, they didn't actually pass the line.
They did.
I have seen that they did not. But anyway, listen, you're all wrong. Just accept the fact that Katy Perry was not some fucking astronaut. She went on a fucking $1 million joyride.
Nobody's calling her an astronaut.
Nobody is Oprah Winfrey's gay lover
or good or anything like that. The bottom line is the rocket made it to space. And here's the other thing that I will tell you that I think why they were experiencing 0G is they were probably in the process of falling back to the Earth, and for a portion of time it was negligible between the two. So they were falling back down. They had 0G.
Have you seen these planes that they do? The only reason that I know this exists is because of what's that?
They call them vomit comets.
Yeah, the vomit comets. I've only seen them
parabolic shape. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them as on episodes of The Bachelorette and The Bachelor back when I used to watch that crap with my sister. They often on different seasons would have that as a date for these fake couples to enjoy and get to know each other. Because, you build love through trauma or, experiences like shove you off a building. I'm in love, it happens. So that's what they do to these poor people. But yeah, just under these certain circumstances, you can get rid of gravity and float. So yeah, I think they were falling. Anyway, Olivia Munn called him out and I thought that was great. Really? Yeah, you didn't hear that?
I adore Olivia Munn.
I think she's gorgeous.
Well, you got to remember, she was on G4 when I was very impressionable and pitched a whole lot of gene tents back in the day.
She also did a on G4, how many hot dogs can I shove in my mouth? So yeah, she's
for that as well.
I may have been watching as well.
I might have been there for that one.
So she said, what's the point? Is it historic that you guys were going on a ride? I think that's a bit gluttonous. Space exploration was to further our knowledge and to help mankind. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here? I can't read today. I'm sorry.
Well, she's totally right. And I think that's the big argument. I think it's hilarious that the left is trying to find anywhere to pinpoint any reason to hate Elon Musk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they are screaming about how bad all of these rocket launches are for the environment. They're awful for the environment. He's ruining the environment. And then as soon as you put Katy Perry in a fucking spaceship, they're like, oh my God, yes. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? What is this argument, man? I don't know. And then the possibly the most fun portion of all of it is when the flat earthers show up on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to try to disprove certain things. That is just my absolute favorite. It makes me feel super intelligent, and I appreciate that because I don't feel that way often.
Go on Twitter for even a little bit and you feel like a genius.
Yeah.
But by the way, Lauren Sanchez, who I guess is dating Bezos, I thought that was totally Blair White for a second.
I don't know who either of those people are. I know who Jeff is.
Well, he's got a very plasticky looking girlfriend.
Well, naturally, he's freaking made of money.
I mean, what is your take on that? If you had, let's say, you won the Powerball tomorrow, and not that your wife needs it because she's a gorgeous lady naturally. But let's say 20 years from now you buy the Powerball and you win, and now we're a little bit older. Would you be like, sweetie, it's time for a mommy makeover?
Well, so 20 years from now, I'm going to be 54.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, 20 years from right now, I'll be 53. At that point, like, no. You know, I understand, I would say after having a kid, if you want to have like a mommy makeover, I totally get it. When you're still, 25 to 40, I think in that area, if you want to, do something or whatever, that's fine. I'm a proponent for natural beauty, personally. I understand that she wants to, if she wants to do something and it's going to make her feel better, like go crazy. But I mean, you get old enough, I think at a certain point, like what's the point? Why? Like, why do it? You get these people who staple the back of their skull with like everything left over on their face just to look like a demon. I don't get it.
Are you do you know what a facelift actually, like what they do?
Yeah, they like
but when you're on your face, do you know what
Hold on, I lost my headphones.
So they what's up, Nagradal in the chat? I'm not shitting on anyone who does it. Like, there's, if you feel like you got a good surgeon, you really hate yourself, you really just, want to have a self-esteem thing for yourself, do it. I'm all for it. I think that's where plastic surgery comes into place. I think it's like, as long as you're not doing for someone else and you're just doing it for you, that's going to make you happy. Shoot, if you've got the money for it, who am I to tell you you're wrong? But would I do it on myself? No. But facelift, it's because women are starting to go south. They cut the excess skin and then pull up and hook it over their ears. So if you know someone who's gotten a facelift, look behind their ears, right behind their ears, they hide the scar right there. And on some women, which I've seen this in real life, you can actually see the scar. And I don't think I would ever be comfortable with knowing that the face part that was here is now behind my ears. I don't think I can live with myself.
That's just like, it's very Buffalo Bill, like skin suit-esque work. I don't know. It freaks me out. Like, the most beautiful thing about life is that it's not forever. You know what I mean? And so it's just like grasping onto youth like that. I don't know. And in some ways I get it. And like I said, if you've got a self-esteem issue because of something crazy, like go nuts, I guess, for sure. But like, don't try to act like you're still 23 when you're 68. You know what I mean? You're not fooling anybody.
It makes me happy to see like my older sister, my mom, they were really beautiful as they got older and, age appropriately, gracefully aging. And I think there's nothing wrong with it. So whatever. If it happens, it happens.
I did see a Japanese chick get bit in the face by a parrot when I was in Honduras once.
Like, how badly?
Like bad. She screamed. Yeah. My wife and I are like on our honeymoon and we're just like having a grand old time. We're off of like 9 margaritas in like an aviary and there's birds all over. It's like, this is the greatest day ever. And we hear like, and we walk down the ramp, dude, and there's this chick who just got her face like wrecked by it. I think it wasn't a parrot. What are they called? Macaws? The big one, the one that can bite the broom in half. Yeah. One of the big ones. Yeah.
That's terrifying. I would never. Okay, so my family, my mom is a bird person, and I didn't have dogs or cats or any normal pets growing up. We were literally bird people. I had a pet pigeon that we raised. Like, we saved a little bird that their mom froze to death. So we took took the egg and incubated it and hatched it and then raised it and then released it. But she never wanted to leave, so she just lived in her. Like, we brought her in. She would spend most of the day in the house, but then we would give her time to fly around and she would just always come back. I had a pet duck. Same situation. It was a duckling, broke her leg. We rehabbed it, cast it. She just never wanted to leave. And then we've had like 10 different cockatiels, a green-cheeked conure.
I need to do a poll.
What?
I need to do a poll.
About birds?
Yeah, about bird people. We need to do a poll in the chat because I need to know. Like, I need to know if this is real. Are there like really bird people out there?
Yes, my mom is one of them. My sister also has never had.
Too.
Oh, I don't have any pet birds. I have a dog because of my experience growing up with bird people. Like, I like birds. I'm never gonna not be like I'm not gonna be not nice to a bird. But do I want one as a pet? Absolutely not. They're loud. They spill seeds and bird feed everywhere. And if they just decide they just get mad at you, guess what? They're gonna bite you and it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
My mom had a green cheeked conure that we've had since she was like a tiny little baby.
A what?
Green cheeked conure. A tiny parrot. They're like yay big and green, but their beaks are serrated and very sharp. And when she gets mad, she will bite you. And I've literally had pieces of my fingers gouged out. Like triangle-shaped chunks of my finger ripped out. Not just like a little like cut, like a
chunk. Yeah.
They chunk your finger out. So yeah, they're terrifying.
I'm not like a chimp person though. Like, I mean, maybe somebody in the chat has a chimp in their house. I don't have a chimp in my house. I would never put a chimp anywhere near like my family. Those things are fucking scary. Okay, so
yeah, and then people put them on their shoulder, and then my fear was always, what if they just get mad and bite your face? Which they have. My mom's birds have bitten my ears before, so terrifying.
Dude, this is like a 30% yes. Okay, so
I'm telling you, it's a thing. It's a thing.
The point I was gonna make before I brought, and I'm sorry for the 30% of folks in my chat. Bird people are fucking weird. Bird people are weird. I'm sorry. I'm going to go out and say it. Bird people are weird. Why would you have those birds in the house? They're weird.
Well, they can be very loving. They can be very loving.
What kind of love do you get from a bird?
Okay, they attach to one person, and then you become their entire world.
Bird people are weird, dude. It's weird. My aunt had a bird when I was living in New York, and that thing would wait until 1 o'clock. It would ignore me all day, and 1 o'clock in the morning, it would say my name. It was an African gray. That thing was horrifying.
Candace Simone is a bird person. See,
Panda, no!
I understand it because I grew up with it, but to me, because maybe it's because they bit me so much. Like the cockatiels never had issues. Like I had a few that would hang out on my shoulder. They would be super cute. They would nuzzle you. Like they can be very cute, but I think I'm traumatized from my mom's.
No, my favorite people are bird people.
My mom's green cheek conure traumatized me. There was one point I was babysitting because she wanted a cruise. I literally had bandages on all 10 of my fingers because she was so angry that her person left. Like birds are cool until you take away.
Get a dog.
My mom is scared of dogs.
And not the bird that fucking eats your face off when it's a pet?
It doesn't bite my mom. It just bites everyone else.
See, here we go. Normal human being. I'm a horse and dog person. Thank you, Margaret Riggle. You know what horses don't do? Eat your fingers off when they're pissy.
I'm allergic to horses.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
That's a horrible life to live.
Yeah, I used to volunteer at a horse rescue, and then I found out that I'm allergic to horses.
Wear a mask or something. I don't know.
It's your skin.
Oh, it's skin contact?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. Panda! Panda with a 50. It says, okay, X-Wing, I am a crazy bird lady, but they're wild outside. I feed all the wild birds, none in my house. That's not a crazy bird lady. Do you agree?
I don't have a problem with feeding. I love putting bird feeders out there, and
I'm for that.
Yeah, I like watching I'm what is it? Anthropology? No, the orthology? The one where you watch birds?
Ornithology?
Ornithology.
Is it
yes,
ornithology?
It's ornithology.
Yeah.
Bird watching is cool.
This doesn't count. Bird watching does not count. Okay. If you have a house with like 9 birds in it, all in cages. That's a crazy bird lady.
My mom had 10 at one point. 10.
Crazy bird lady.
Yeah. And Jeanette has an African gray parrot. Those are really nice.
I'm sure there are cool African grays out there, but I've got PTSD when it comes to African grays. So I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying. Panda Simone with a 50. Bird watching does not make you a crazy bird lady at all. In fact, I support that for sure. When I get down to Florida, I'm going to be loading up all kinds of freaking bird feeders and all kinds of. I love seeing wild birds come and hang out. That's cool. I'm good with that. It's when you have like a shitload of them in the house. My aunt had them. She had like 3 or 4 of those things, and and you're trying to talk, and the TV's going, and the birds screaming, and you're trying to all these different.
I actually don't hear it anymore because it's like white noise to me because I literally grew up with it. Like my sister has a cockatiel that's actually older than I am. They live to 35, and it's pushing.
That's scary.
It's literally 30 something, and it's older than I am. I'm like, that thing has been alive for more than I have. It's crazy.
More than you.
Yeah, and it's still going. Poor little thing had a stroke, and he's, got arthritis, but he's still cooking. Buster Voodoo says, I not only hate leaves, but I also hate birds. No, I don't hate birds. I'm a little bit traumatized because of the injuries that I've sustained from my family members' birds.
Wow. I'm going to end that poll. 70% normal.
Look, there's another person. Wiley Dave has a sun conure. By the way, can I just... Wiley Dave actually sent me something. Can I go get it really fast?
Yeah, go grab it. I'll hit these super chats real quick. Jerry Sills says, I have 3 Siamese cats and no damn birds. Yeah, my dad is a huge Siamese cat fan. He loves his Siamese cats. Keiko, Miko. I don't remember. He names them all like Japanese stuff. Anjanette for 14 says, and I have always owned African grays. I'm telling you, I feel like I've told this story 1,000 times on chat. My aunt had this African gray that hated me. I was never anything but nice to it. I'd try to scratch his neck or, do whatever under, and they're cool. They're like cool to touch. I think they're cool critters, but it hated me and it tried to bite me all the time. And then I was sleeping on the couch in New York there for a while, and the bird cage was like in the kitchen, kind of where I was sleeping on the couch. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, it'd just be like, Russ, and try to get my attention. And I'm like, what do you want? If I go into that kitchen, is it going to break out of the fucking cage and try to bite my jugular and kill me? I hate birds. I hate them. Holy crap. Hooray. With a 5493. God, Nintendo 54. I don't know what that one is. And the year he was born, 93. There you go. Just kidding. He's older. Raider says, used to work in a bird of prey aviary. My cousin was a falconer, raised owls and hawks. Totally different. That's manly as fuck. I'm all for that. If you can raise falcons and owls and shit, that's cool. It's the pretty little weirdos that are like the chihuahuas of the bird world that I don't like. You know what I mean?
What was that book we read growing up where the kid ran away from home or something and then lived in a tree and then trained a falcon to hunt for him? You know what I'm talking about? I think he crashed in a... You know which one I'm talking about? It was like the... Was it the river? Anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about?
No.
It made falconry super freaking cool growing up.
Falconry is cool as shit anyway.
Yeah. I always wanted a falcon, but I'm also scared of, we had a bald eagle in my mom's backyard. I guess there's some in Florida. I had no idea. And I was always terrified of it, picking up the neighbor's dog and killing it or something. That's a little terrifying.
Bald eagles ain't nothing to mess with, dude.
Yeah. Check this out. Speaking of birds of prey.
Oh, there you go. I had one of those. It wasn't
cool?
that cool looking.
This is actually a really, really nice. I took it out of the box, Wiley Dave, because I have it on display. It comes with a stand. And it actually has
Hey, have it! And let's slip the
Let's slip the dogs of war.
It has lights everywhere. I'm obsessed with this thing. It's actually,
it was not that cool.
yeah, I was like blown away. I have it on display. I kept the box too, obviously, because it's super incredible. So if I remove, I have somewhere.
It's not a Klingon warship. It's a.
Yeah, it is. It's a Klingon bird of prey. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. See, hey, look at the Star Wars guy.
Hey.
Bridges.
Yeah.
Crossing the aisle. Shout out Raider for the 5493. Yeah, 100%. I'd get into falconry. Believe it or not, there have been a couple nights where I've been sitting there on the internet like, do you need a license for this? Or
I could see you, honestly, with your repertoire of shit that you do and your hobbies.
falconry fits fucking right in there, doesn't it?
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
It just fit right in there.
Sounds like an expensive hobby, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to keep the birds. I don't think I'd want to keep the birds. I'd want to like board them almost a little bit like roping horses or something like that. You have somebody else take care of them in a real nice spot. You know what I mean? Although it would be, you want to talk about a power move? You invite somebody over to your house for a meeting and you're sitting behind a nice oak desk smoking a cigar and there's just a fucking falcon sitting on a perch behind you. You know what I mean? That's a power move. That's a power move.
I was just imagining, again, growing up as a bird person, that bird has to have some ginormous poos.
Birds poop big?
Well, it's like wet because they only have one hole, so they pee and they poo at the same time because they have a cloaca. You didn't know that? Birds only have one hole under their tail. They have sex, they pee and they poo out of the same hole.
They bang, poo, and pee all out of the same hole.
Mm-hmm. It's called the cloaca.
Cloaca.
I am a real bird person. And I've also seen 2 of my mom's cockatiels going at it. She had couples. So I got to see lots of bird sex and it's loud.
Joe Lovelace for 5. 2 little birds. Does that confirm your feelings? No, again, I think it's little tiny ones, totally fine. I like the little, I like the really little ones.
Budgies?
They're like this big.
Budgies. Parakeets.
Pudgies.
Budgies. Parakeets. So let me tell you, when I was still living in my mom's house, I actually thought of I've only had small pets before my dog. I have had rodents. So my sister was a rabbit person and a bird person. My mom was a bird person.
You're a crazy person.
Shh, these were my family's pets.
Birds and shit.
Yeah. So my first pet was a hamster.
I like hamsters.
It was a teddy bear hamster and just so fuzzy. Like I had to constantly just cut. And he was so passive. He would just sit there. So I would just constantly just trim his fur because it was just so out of control. And I named him. I always gave my pets very eloquent names. So his name was Simon Bolivar, like the
Simon Bolivar.
Yeah. So we named him Simon. And then they lived very short lives, so he only lived 2 years. And then I had a pet rat that I actually rescued because I was just in my feelings that one day, and there was a little pet store in my plaza where my office was. So I walked in, and I was like, "Do you guys sell feeder rats?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Can I just get one?" And they're like, "What do you mean one? Like, how many pounds do you want?" And I'm like, it's not for
a feeder
eating.
rat.
Yeah.
So it was going to be some snake's lunch somewhere. And
yeah.
you were like, oh, okay.
And he was like, I'm so confused. Like, we sell them by the pound. I'm like, no, I want one. They're like, okay. And I'm like, they're like, can you put it in a like a little pet taxi for me, a little box? And he was like, wait, you want this as a pet? I'm like, they're like, that's not what they're for. I'm like, I don't care.
You save one life out of 100. You know what I mean? Like, I respect that. I do respect that. It is a rat. Like, fuck rats. I hate rats, but
he was so great.
Yeah.
I named him Gerald.
Gerald?
Mm-hmm, because he was Jerry, like Tom and Jerry.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I had like a Greek kick once. I had a cat I named Boagrius.
I like that.
Do you remember Boagrius? Did you watch Troy?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning battle, I think it was like him, it was Agamemnon and then whoever the other king was, and it was like bring forth your best warrior, whoever that is. and Achilles comes out, and Boagrius comes out. Boagrius was that fucking giant dude that Achilles kills. Boagrius was his name because the runt was Hank Williams, my cat, and then my girlfriend's cat at the time was fat as shit. It was huge. So we named it Boagrius.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah. Boa.
Boa.
Bo.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like giving animals like human names. Randolph the rabbit was also another favorite. Anyway, I'm sorry.
We went way off topic there. Way off topic there. And it's been 2 freaking hours.
Yeah.
We got more topics for today?
Yeah, we do. I want to show this one. I'm going to share my screen.
Are you getting sick?
Yeah, I have a throat thing going on.
All them fucking birds.
Listen, I haven't lived around them forever. So just talking about them is giving me allergies. So the White House tweeted, I don't know if you actually saw the tweet, but the White House tweeted, don't go to covid.gov. And it was the legit White House Twitter X account.
From the White House.
From the White House. So, of course, everyone's going to be like, okay, let me go to covid.gov and see what happens. And if you open a window and you go to covid.gov, I'm doing it so you can see that I'm not joshing here. It goes to the White House's new page.
Oh my God.
Lab leaks the true origins of COVID-19.
Trump is such a petty bitch. I love it, dude. I just love it.
Yeah.
He's so petty.
And it basically breaks down that the virus was not natural, that it was man-made, and it goes basically into the fact that it was a leaked virus. And yeah, go have fun.
They have Wuhan pegged there in the
They have the freaking seafood market here, the Institute of Virology. Like, this is almost too funny. Too funny. The origin, like, they really break it down. I was in shock that they did this.
Do you want to talk about this for a sec?
Yeah, we have
talk about it. I have to pee again. My prostate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's got a smaller bladder, X-Wing or Beardo.
I was doing yard work earlier today, okay? And I drank a lot of water, okay?
Or beer. Was it beer or water?
Might have been a little bit of beer.
Okay, that's why you're peeing a lot. Go pee. But yeah, I saw, I'm worried it was going to be a porn site from This Dishes. Yeah. But no, it has the Anthony Fauci pardon on here, which is very signed by Joseph R. Biden, which I don't even remember what Joe Biden's middle name is. That's weird. That I don't care. But the full and unconditional pardon for any offenses against the United States which he may have committed or taken part of from January 1st, 2014 onward. Why would you need a pardon? Why would you need a pardon if you're not guilty of anything? So if that doesn't stink, if that's, something smells bad in Denmark, as they say, something's rotten in Denmark, I don't know what is. But yeah, it goes into the history of it, goes into the different departments, HHS obstruction, different obstructions. Fauci's senior advisor, Dr. Morens, deliberately obstructed the select subcommittee investigation. New York Executive Chamber by Kathy Hochul, which I freaking dislike her. Also has lots of obstructions into the investigation. And then it has videos as well from Forbes. Having a theory, and I like how they did this. They actually put Forbes's video up here. So they didn't say it, Forbes said it, of the cover-up done through this. The WHO, and then basically just kind of reminding everybody what happened. Basically the lies and the lockdowns and the mask mandates and social distancing, and then what happened in New York with Andrew Cuomo, who we all know Cuomo's nursing home disaster led to the death of quite a bit of people, allegedly. Lots of misinformation. I mean, they're going in. And finally, the House Oversight Report that you can actually download. I don't know how many. 557 pages. So if you really wanted to get into it,
holy crap,
you can. So yeah, they go into everything. That's impressive. And like you said, petty, but in a delightful way.
I feel like that's why I couldn't be president. I would be handed so many documents that I have to read.
I'm H2 ADHD for that.
Yeah, in a day and age, I'd just be like, give me the Cliff Notes. That might be what Trump does too. Just kidding.
Honestly, can you imagine him reading? He's probably got someone talking to him, and he's probably sitting there going,
boring.
Although he's a business guy, and a lot of that corporate law is very tedious and very hard to get through. So I think if you can get through that crap, then you are probably smarter than you look.
Gaming's On said, is there an audiobook version?
I don't actually feel like audiobooks help sometimes because I feel like
I love audiobooks.
I gotta really be paying attention to. Like, I'm not one of those people who can listen to X-Wing.
I was like to lead, not to read.
Yeah. All right. I want to talk about this, something that's been in the news cycle for, I feel like, a couple weeks now that just won't go away. I'm actually going to start out backwards. I'm going to start out with the president of El Salvador talking, and he's in Spanish, but he's got subtitles.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We have two we haven't touched yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two big ones. Giggity.
And this is... And I apologize if you don't know Spanish. It's got subtitles. But basically, this is important because this is the president of El Salvador. And if you don't know what the president of El Salvador has done, he has famously cleaned up a gang-ridden country. If you don't know the gang MS-13, they are vicious. They literally decapitate people, leave bodies strewn everywhere. Like hardcore gang violence. You made a Simpsons reference?
That was, yeah. Well, I didn't make the Simpson reference, but that was not the one I meant to. There we go. No, but yeah. So this guy had one of the most violent gangs in history. And by the way, MS-13 has a presence here in the United States.
Oh, huge.
Measurably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy basically cleaned house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's very impressive. A lot of people don't like him because they're like, due process, which is important. And you just shoved thousands of people in jails and it's inhumane. And there's pictures of his prisons. There's pictures of they shave their head and then bow down.
And, run them through. Yeah. I love
it. They're not, sorry to say this, they're not pussy prisons. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are real, third world country, your life is over if you get into an El Salvador prison. Borderline inhumane probably, but it's for the worst of the worst scum.
Yeah, and chat's bringing it up too. I'm loving the fit. He either looks like he's from 2057 or 1682. Either way, I'm digging it.
Right? Yeah, he's a slick dude. And he's very well spoken. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to let him talk, read the subtitles. Basically, he's talking about why it's important for what he did to his country.
Salvador priorizamos la seguridad de nuestros ciudadanos honestos sobre la comodidad de los criminales.
Yep.
Algunos dicen de que hemos encarcelado miles, pero la realidad es que hemos liberado a millones. Ahora son los buenos los que viven libres, sin miedo, con sus libertades y derechos humanos totalmente respetados. En El Salvador priorizamos la seguridad.
So I love that.
Out of that, dude.
Yeah, he says, for those that don't read, basically, I've been criticized for jailing thousands, but what I've really done is I've liberated millions to live in freedom, free from fear. I think that's amazing.
You know that guy has a gigantic bright orange target on the back of his skull right now. MS-13, any of these cartels, anyone wants to kill the shit out of that guy.
I will say that a lot of these, I don't know El Salvador's politics as well as I would like to at this moment. Some of these countries in South America, they are military dictator presidents. They've got the military loves them and protects them. So I think this guy is ruling with an iron fist, but they needed to be in a country with that much history of corruption and violence. It's you need to clean up.
I think I'll probably catch some heat for this. I think at some point in certain countries at certain times, there is a need for a dictatorship. That needs to be absolved when the problem is solved. I think most of the time that probably doesn't happen. But there's got to be a point when things get so out of hand, somebody's got to be the dude to make the call. And you remove all the bureaucratic bull crap, and you remove all of the bullshit, and you just get what needs to be done, and then move into a democracy. I'm a little biased because I'm an American. I think democracy is like, obviously the cat's pajamas, but who's that?
So this guy is what's causing a shitstorm right now in the media.
Oh, this was okay.
So this guy's name is Kilmar Abriego Garcia. He is, hello, Andy. Kilmar was arrested along with 2 other El Salvadorians as part of Senator Homan, like the border czar, not senator, sorry, whatever, his border czar Homan, the Homeland Security guy. They did a campaign of, we're going to start deporting people with known criminal backgrounds who we know are criminals, who have gang backgrounds. Like, we're not going after your average mom and pop who's here illegally. They started out by cleaning house with known criminals. All right. So we're not even getting to the point where like the media is drumming up this, oh no, basically, if you're Hispanic, you have to be, or anything but white, you need to be fearful of going out because they're just cracking down and sending everybody out.
Selena Gomez, she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, whoa, I mean, who's getting deported?
Yeah, right now it's
stab 6 people and grape a 13-year-old girl. No, then you have nothing to worry about.
Exactly. So that's the problem, that all these liberals are out here literally crying. But who is actually getting deported? People like this schmuck, Kilmar, who is I'm sorry, it's my word today. He's a known MS-13 gang member. He was apprehended with 2 other MS-13 gang members. There's pictures of his tattoos. He has MS-13 tattoos on his fingers. Literally with MS-13. How much more clear can you get?
Wow.
So this guy, I don't understand. This has been literally the obsession of CNN and all the liberal media.
Dude, the ads on these websites are getting fucking wild.
They're like they're bigger than the article. I'm sorry. They're just annoying. And why is Katy Perry down here? Anyway, I couldn't even find a basic article because every 5 minutes there's a different article about this. Like the story is just keeps going and it keeps getting more and more ridiculous. But basically, this guy's an MS-13 gangster. The media is reporting and everybody and their mom on Twitter is like, this guy, we need to save this guy. Listen, a few days ago, hashtag bring him home was trending on Twitter. He is home.
That's what we're doing. We're bringing him home.
Exactly. But sorry, but
this isn't the guy that did all the protests on campus and stuff like that. That was somebody who was like Hamas affiliated, right?
Yeah, they also are deporting those people. Like it's now like if you're causing disruption, you can protest, but you can't like disruptively protest. I guess they're now getting arrested, and if you're not illegal, but if you're here on a visa, you're getting out.
So this guy was an MS-13 gang member. Okay,
yes.
He's getting deported. Why does he have? He's not getting deported?
No, he's already been deported.
Oh, okay.
That's why they have hashtag bring him back.
So much press.
I don't understand it. He has literally I have a video of President Trump having to talk about it. The president is talking about this one freaking guy who got deported. I'll tell you why. Because it all started with President Trump tapped into this law that let him deport people with known criminal backgrounds immediately without any additional due process. And that's what their problem is. It's like they're not getting due process. Yeah, illegals, criminals, there's a law on the books that's like if you already have a criminal background and you are here illegally, we can then get you on a plane and push you out of the country now without any additional steps.
Have a criminal background and you're here illegally.
This cannot happen.
The brain is not working when it says you're here illegally, but you don't have a criminal background. If you're here illegally, that's a criminal background.
Additional criminal background.
Additional criminal background.
Yes. Okay. Additional criminal background in addition to being here criminally, aka illegally. So if you are just literally a 95-year-old grandma who walked in from Mexico and set up shop in El Paso and you don't have papers, you don't need to worry right now because they're not going to be using this law. I'm just saying, with this, how these people got deported, the plain fills of people going to Venezuela and El Salvador, these were known additional violent crime people.
For me personally, if it's the old grandma selling tamales in fucking,
let her stay.
You know, yeah, like come on, you know what I mean.
As long as she's making good tamales, then I'm fine with
it. If they're bad, get
out. There, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, this is the whole thing. It's like I think the media latched onto it because they're literally yelling "no due process," which is also ridiculous, but whatever. But and then there was a rogue judge who tried to block it, and rogue judges were commanding the planes to turn around. Then they're out of here. If it's a bird person, they're out of here.
Get them out.
But yeah, rogue judges were making this a big media shitstorm because they were like, he doesn't have the legal jurisdiction to do this, turn the planes around. Guess what? Not one of these fucking pilots turned the plane around. They all dropped off the illegals in their countries. And it became this fucking shitstorm. Then all the details started coming out. They made him some fucking poster child for it. Apparently, not only this, his wife, they dug deeper, and his wife had a protective order, a restricted, or whatever it's called. Like, I guess he had an episode of domestic violence, alleged domestic violence.
I remember this. There was an interview with his wife, and was it Mike? Holy shit, who's the guy?
Mike, the guy with the gap, Mike Stranahan. I actually have that. I have that. Hang on a second. Here it is. Let me switch screens.
Yeah, this is what. If this is not the most telling portion of this whole thing. Here we go. Hold on. Jerry D. Sills for 2 says, I have a Star Trek board game, Joe, from 1967 or 1968. Dude. Oh, shit. Hold on. We have to talk about Black Mirror when we're done with this. Old Renaissance Boomer for 5 says, my schedule and being alone, no pets. I'll adopt a dog later. A Chihuahua, Shih Tzu. You're gay. A real dog. Mutt. Can get into truck without help. Yeah, that's the most important thing. They got to be able to get into the truck. Unless they're just old. In which case, I don't mind.
I adopted mine. It's a mutt.
I love mutts.
People don't believe I have a dog, but that's okay. I have to hit play.
I have to ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
Husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay.
I don't have any media training. I don't know how to lie.
But how much hope?
What?
I don't have any media training. I don't know how to lie when you tell me a question that I can't answer because I don't know how to lie yet.
You filed a restraining order against your husband. What do you have to say about that? He's alive. I don't know. And then like nothing else. No like trip and stumble, no try to change the subject, just silence.
Yep.
Why are we arguing this? This is insanity, bro.
Yep. So this leech of a human being, Senator Chris Van Hollen, who is a Democrat, has decided that this is how he's going to put himself on the map and has become the advocate for this guy. And has even flown his ass to El Salvador, where he had margaritas with this MS-13 criminal. More on that later. But this isn't... I'll get to that in a second. It's called Margarita Gate.
One more day.
But listen to this retard. Oh, sorry. Hard R. Sorry.
Retard.
I saw the comments of President Bukele, and I look forward to meeting with him. I've requested to meet with him. I reached out to the ambassador here to ask to meet while he's here. But I've also made clear if we can't meet here, I do intend to go to El Salvador to discuss the release of this individual who is illegally detained. A Maryland man who's the father of 3 in a notorious prison in El Salvador.
So, first of all, why is this senator trying to become involved in international politics This man is now deported. He goes in a Maryland man. No, motherfucker. He's an
resident of El Salvador.
Yes, he's not a Maryland man. He was not born in Maryland.
Yeah.
He's an El Salvadorian who is a known criminal, who is a wife beater, who has now been deported to El Salvador. This senator who should be fucking caring about, I don't know, the legal fucking residents of his state and giving a shit about that. Instead, he's wasting his money and time and making a career for himself by using tax resources and flying his ass to El Salvador to, create more.
The El Salvadorian president about one fucking guy that's a member of a fucking known violent criminal organization?
Do you know how many fucking people? I'm assuming he's from Maryland if he's, getting this involved and up its ass. This guy probably has so many constituents that actually need help, that are actual tax-paying members of his society that he is a civil servant to. That's who you should give a fuck about. The only reason he's doing any of this is because there's a camera in front of him, and this is a hot subject, and he wants to make a name for himself as some fucking savior and then run for president in 5 years. So fuck you, you stupid. Yeah.
Salvador. And I believe the president of El Salvador will recognize why it's important to
he's gonna
allow
laugh
him
in your
to return
face
to the United States of America, because it is absolutely unjust and illegal to have
unjust and illegal to bring
detained one more day in an
I'm sorry, let's waste resources, massive resources, to bring an illegal alien that we know is an illegal alien back to the United States.
This is where in 3 seconds we're gonna point at this guy and we're gonna say the R word. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Retard.
So yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean,
notorious
I don't know if we can
prison in El Salvador. Of course, President Trump could have just said, bring him home.
Why would he?
Of course, he could have done.
Why would he?
But this is an administration that has lied about Mr. Abrego.
No, he hasn't.
Right? The vice president of the United States tweeted out that he had a criminal record.
He does.
That was a lie.
That's not true.
They're just lying.
No, they're not.
They've gotten caught lying. They don't want to admit it. And
the motherfucker has MS-13 tattooed on his body.
They have an obligation to bring him home. But I will say the president of El Salvador should not now take it upon himself to say that he is detaining him for one more day.
I would love that if he flies all the way to El Salvador and the president goes, talk to Trump. That's all he says.
This guy is it's so cringe. Yeah, I actually have there's more on him, but I think that's enough on that idiot. So then
this is our leadership.
Yeah. We have Steve.
Where's he from? Where's he a senator from?
It's got to be Maryland, because there's no reason why he would be from any other state. So Stephen Miller is I forget what he is, but Stephen Miller is, I think, like some kind of Homeland Security or something involved with that. So he's got a great video where he fucking roasts the media, because this story has been nonstop in liberal media.
He's like standing in the road and he's like, did any of you do any research about this at all over the weekend?
Yeah, it's so funny. Okay.
It's like, apparently you're all retarded.
Yeah. This guy is great. He's the White House Homeland Security Advisor and Deputy Chief of Staff of Policies. This guy made himself viral. If I can
we make that a thing now? Can we just, as of today, Saturday, now, that is a new meme in the Hanger Bay community.
Retard.
Pointing directly at the camera like this. You don't have to even say it. It's just as soon as you point like this, retarded.
No, retarded. All right, you ready for this?
Let's get some points in the chat. Not for this guy though. This guy's a Chad.
This guy is totally a Chad.
I'm almost at a loss for words for how outrageous it is.
Can you crank that? Very quiet.
At max. Well, no, I just
loud
needed
as
it.
that goes, it's too quiet.
I'm trying to see if there's something. Let me crank it on my. No, that's the music in your background. Jeez.
Oh, I can turn that off. That's easy. Standby und silent.
Okay, I'm cranking up I have an XLR, so I just cranked up the system, so hopefully that'll do something.
Deported to his home country of El Salvador.
It's the same.
Who's been repeatedly documented by multiple federal and state authorities to be a member of MS-13.
What's his
one
name?
Of the most violent and ruthless criminal
Stephen Miller
organizations on planet Earth, which is now a designated foreign terrorist organization. An individual who
Somebody
is
uploaded that shit
implicated in
at,
human smuggling and human trafficking. An individual.
All right, hold on. Let me try to share mine. Let me see if this is a little.
I have a different version of this video. I think it's better. Hang on, I've got it here too. Yeah, I found a better version. I found one.
This one?
Yeah. I just listened to it. It's better. And this one actually has subtitles too.
Oh, you got subtitles with it? Let's
Yeah.
do that one. Let's do that one.
I come prepared.
I'm loving it. It's a new thing. I'm loving the point, dude. I'm loving it.
Even looks like a Chad right there.
Is
Okay.
the president going to ask for him to be returned to the United States or not? Like, yes or no?
Let me ask you, what do you think would happen to him if he came back to this country? As your understanding of immigration laws, what do you think would happen?
But I'm just asking
No,
at
it's
this point
important to know.
about whether
You're
or
asking,
not
you're asking a lot of questions.
The president.
You're
the
asking.
president plans
You
to
are
ask
all
us
asking a lot of questions about this, and you also care about it a lot. So let's see if any of you have researched anything about this issue at all. Can anyone here tell me what would happen to the illegal alien from El Salvador if he came back to the United States? Does anyone here know?
Shame.
Anyone want to guess?
Dude.
Any of you?
He could be with his family.
What do you know the difference between a deportation order and a withholding order? Do you know the difference? Any of you, please. Do you?
Well, we're not in the government.
We're not in the government. We're just in the media. You're fucking journalists.
72 hours over the weekend learning the distinction, even though you've been writing and talking about it this whole time. What I'm getting from this conversation, which is educational for me, is that not one person in the media knows the difference between a deportation order and a withholding order. Is that a fair statement? You're learning about this all for the first time right now? I guess so. Okay. So the deportation order means the judge has said he must be deported from the country. He has no right to remain here any longer. He must be removed from the country. So his only options are to be deported to his home country or another country. That's it. There's no other option. He doesn't get to stay here. He doesn't get to live here. He has no future here. He has no right to be here. He's an illegal alien. So when you keep saying return, because you've been spun up by the open borders advocates, you all seem to be operating under the illusion that he would be able to come to the United States and just continue to live here illegally. That's not an option available to him. His only choices in life are to live in El Salvador or to live in another country. That's it. There's no other option, legally or otherwise, because he came to our country illegally. Do you understand that? He would be arrested. Okay. He'd be put in confinement. He would be deported the second time to El Salvador again, because there's no withholding order for an alien who's a member of a foreign terrorist organization, number one. Number two is the gang that he's a member of doesn't exist in El Salvador anymore. So what you're asking for is to be deported twice. Additionally, if he chose to just pretend that the withholding order was real, he would be deported to a different country. So, for example, he could be deported to Egypt. So I'm just trying to understand, is it your view, in other words, you define a country that would be willing to take a MS-13 member from El Salvador. So I'm trying to understand from you all is, so if he came back and under our laws, he was then deported to Egypt or to Somalia, would you then be saying, great, I'm so glad that you deported him to another country? Is that what you'd all be saying?
Savage. I just loved how he made them feel like idiots. And honestly, though, like, it's cringe, this media, especially CNN. Well, I've got 2 more videos I want to show. I know I've been, like, harping on this.
No, it's fine.
But just to show you, like, the media's so fucking obsessed.
Well,
it's
not
crazy.
only obsessed, but, like, not educated on the subject, looking for a headline. The only thing I can compare this to, and I think about like the Masters that just happened. Imagine that a reporter, a sports, like an ESPN reporter, walks up to Rory McIlroy and says, "So what did you think about hitting the ball on 4?" And Rory's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I just won the Masters. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, you did use the metal thing to hit the ball. And how do you feel about that?" And Rory looks back at him like, this is golf. What do you not know what golf is? Do you not know how golf works? What are we actually asking a question about here? Like, this is retarded.
It's because they care. All they care about is their feelings, and they feel bad. This guy, I mean, they picked a picture of him, and he's got a family, and he looks like a nice guy, and it's just we're deporting him, and that's not okay.
But
Explain.
The fact that they said we're not in the government, that's what they said when asked, did you research this at all? It is journalistic integrity, and not to mention like just actually being able to provide a story with truth, a factually true story with bias removed. You should be able to know exactly what's occurring. And when he asked, you know, what are you looking for here? Why would you bring him back? So he can be with his family. That was the response. I thought that was a joke. I thought somebody edited that in. So he can be with his family. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, do you know how many millions of illegals come? Like, I don't understand why we picked this one guy. It's honestly just it became because of this one judge who just tried to make an example of like and say I've got more power than the executive branch, and that's what he tried to do, and he doesn't. But this video I have here is actually showing how the media refuses to like this. I think what is this? MSNBC. So MSNBC has a video of Trump.
Hold on 2 seconds before you
Go for it.
You gotta hit these 2 super chats.
Go for it.
Excuse me. Margaret Riggle for 5 says lobbied for the racehorse industry in Texas. Realize then just how stupid most of these politicians are. Margaret, I would love to hear the story of that one day because I was a rodeo guy. The horse racing is probably in the same vein in terms of, you know, what people are trying to do. I'd be really interested to hear the conversations that you had from that for sure. Thank you, Margaret Riggle, for the 5. And then Joan Lovelace says, everyone have a blessed Easter tomorrow. He has risen. Let's go. Shout out for our old boy JC in the chat. If you don't love Jesus, I don't blame you. It's not everywhere nowadays, but it wouldn't hurt to read the good book and the red letters.
Are you going to service tomorrow, or are you doing it from home?
I have a 8 o'clock.
I'm doing
with the family.
It's nice. I don't have family, and I don't have a church I'm a part of here because I moved, so I will be watching service online.
You can do that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I just found a church that pretty good, and they film their service, so they've got an 8 a.m., a 9:30, and an 11.
Gemstones?
What's that?
The Righteous Gemstones?
I don't know what that is.
You've never seen that show? You should watch it. It's really funny. Team penning. Nice. I used to have to do that, but for work.
What is team penning?
Not team penning, but basically the same thing for work. Team penning is like you have to stand on livestock and put livestock in a pen.
Okay.
Yeah. Imagine having 7 magnets on a table, and you have one strong magnet in your hand, and you have to push all the magnets into a box. That's what team penning is.
Sounds painful.
It can be. Yeah, it absolutely can be.
One of these days, you're going to have to tell me the story of how you got into being a cowboy.
It was a girl.
There's always a girl.
Emma. Yeah, it was a girl. I have to pee again.
Really?
It started with, believe it or not, it all started, we don't have to go into a very long story. It started with a 22-year-old retired police horse, Kitty.
I thought you were going to say that was called Emma, and I was going to judge you severely if you...
No, that was a girl. She was a short blonde girl.
Was she a horse girl?
Accused me, by the way, actually, that's a very long story. There's a very long story there. No, she had a horse named Kitty. It was a retired Arabian. She was 22 years old. I fell in love with that horse like crazy. She hated everybody else but me. I loved that horse to death. And I never turned back. Yeah. And then the horse I got after that was another girl. Believe it or not, my first 2 horses were women.
Mares.
Yeah, they were mares. And we just we just bonded so hard. And then I got introduced to my dude. Dude was my first guy horse. And we got on thicker than thieves. Dude and Red. Those are my two. I trained. Red was a colt that came into the fraternity program at Feather River College. So he was just a little tiny baby guy when I took him on. And then when it was time to sell him, he was like a grown ass boy. I was riding him. I reined with him. I taught him how to do everything. And that was just like the hardest thing in the world to let that horse go. But anyways, okay, I got to pee.
I'll just talk to chat
with this one.
Okay,
go. Play it?
Yeah, I'll play it while you just go pee.
You can play it.
I'll play it while you go pee.
All right, I'll be right back.
So he's not going to miss much because I'm basically going through the entire timeline of the story. But basically, this is an example of liberal media trying to censor the true story about this Kilmar guy being an MS-13 member. So they were actually having a press conference about something else, of him talking about the judge. This basically the origin of what I was talking about. How this all came to be such a media shitstorm was because this particular rogue judge went after Trump's policy of deporting illegal aliens with criminal backgrounds without due process, using this law that was on the books. And then the judge tried to, I don't know, again, just like Senator Van Hollen, make a name of himself and, try to get into the big leagues by, causing some disruption on the federal level. So you'll see how MSNBC cuts the video as soon as things start getting a little bit of more interesting. And I just realized that's Dr. Oz. I don't know why he's there.
In 2019, Garcia was issued a deportation order. Two separate judges affirmed Garcia was a member of MS-13, which is a gang that may be even worse.
We've been watching President Donald Trump there swearing in the new administrator of the CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, Dr. Mehmet.
So you saw that they were showing the swearing in, I guess, of CMS, and I think that's why Dr. Oz is behind him. And of course, Trump being Trump took the opportunity to start talking about this judge situation and this Kilmar guy, and started telling the media about two separate judges affirming that this guy was an MS-13 gang member. And as soon as they started hearing that, they immediately decreased the volume and cut the feed. Did you catch any of that?
No, I just sat back down. What happened?
It's cool. So basically, it was a video of they had a press conference. Like it was totally separate reason for the press conference. It had something to do with CMS director or whatever. And Trump being Trump, having a camera and a mic in front of him, he was talking about this rogue judge that I was talking to you about, how this all got started.
Yeah.
And brought up Kilmar and said, a known member of MS-13, two federal judges actually proved that this guy was an MS-13 guy. And as soon as he started talking about it, MSNBC muted him and took the video down.
What?
Mm-hmm. They just immediately, they saw where he was talking, they just muted his ass and minimized the screen. And then they're just like, yep, so we're here with President Trump here at the inauguration for blah, 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 blah. And they just completely changed the subject and just went on to the next thing because they didn't want to showcase and tell the truth about what's going on with the situation.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And then we have, there's sorry, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, and I'm sorry for saying that because there's horse people in the chat. You just talked about your horse. But one more.
If it's dead, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's why you don't beat it, because it's dead.
It sounds cruel. So do you remember who Tim Waltz is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure because...
Well, he has faded into obscurity, like, rapidly.
For instance, do you know who the vice president was, the running for vice president with Hillary?
Holy shit, I actually don't... Hold on.
It was also another old white guy.
Dude, I don't remember.
Fuck was his name? Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine of Virginia.
Wow, dude. That's incredible that just evaporated from my mind. Holy crap.
I kid you not, you will not remember Tim Waltz in a couple years.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. It'll be another Tim Kaine.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Spirian. Thank you for the $20 super sticker. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for the support, my friend. And
what's up, Spirian?
Reality for 2 says, get X-Wing, a jar, and a funnel. Actually, you know what? I think I have a jar and a funnel.
Wait, are you going to stick...
I'm gonna get a jar and a funnel. Hold on. I'm going to get a jar and a funnel. No, this is going to be great.
This is going to be... He better not pee on stream. I'm just going to say, he better not pee on stream. By the way, shout out to the chat for actually remembering Tim Kaine's name. I see 3 people. Andy Masterson, Michael James, Diz the Jizz. Y'all got that 500-point Jeopardy question. Tim P says, history does not remember the losers for the most part. Spirian says hi again. Hey, Spirian. Buster Voodoo says, X-Wing, keep your stream off the stream. Cornboy also said Tim Kaine. Shout out to Cornboy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Funnel's being used. Sorry, everyone. I
If it was a kitchen funnel, I was going to say that's disgusting.
I was actually going to piss in a funnel.
What's up, Linnea?
I'm back.
Okay, so Tim Walz's daughter went viral with this stupidity. She's also one of these.
A little bit of this going on.
A whole lot of this going on. I kid you not. I bring this up because it is Easter weekend, and we were just talking about JC.
She's
this one,
balding hardcore.
Yeah, right there. You know, they make Rogaine for women, but okay.
Do they really?
Of course they do.
Wow, Femgain or something?
No, it's called Rogaine for women. I've seen it. It's a different medication. It's not female baldness is not caused by the same thing. Stress can actually cause female baldness as well. So you can do some steroid shots in the scalp to help with that.
Gotcha.
But I digress. Sorry, my medical shit.
If Jesus were alive today and in the United States, this administration would have already taken him and removed him from this country without due process, claimed he was a member of the MS-13 gang as a way to try to justify not giving him due process, as if there's any justifiable reason to not giving somebody due process. But yeah.
This dumb bitch just compared an MS-13 gang member to Jesus Christ. On Easter weekend, no less.
Joe, why do you bring this stuff to me?
Because that's my job. This is what I do.
She's sitting there like, how do I piss off conservatives?
Let me use Jesus Christ and blasphemy as hard as I can on Easter weekend.
If Jesus had snuck across the border... What do we call these? Like false equivalencies? I think.
We call this mental retardation, X-Wing. You don't need to use any smarter terminology than that. This woman, she was, first of all, is anyone else surprised that Tim Waltz procreated? Who the hell is sleeping with that man? And gross.
Oh my God.
And 2, I'm also not surprised that his offspring would be as retarded considering that he made this person. So
some people don't want to talk about that.
Because it's stupid.
It truly is baffling how clear and laid out everything is, and there is still people standing by it.
Yes, clear and laid out, like our fucking laws, you dumb. It's on black and white. Illegal alien. That's clear and laid out. I don't understand why there's anyone still talking about this.
This is incredible.
I believe in the good of people and like humanity, humans, you know, deep down at our core, like we care about each other.
She's talking about a wife
really
beater.
being tested, because how anyone is okay with this is terrifying to me. But yeah, if you look like me, speak.
I'm sorry, people of minority of color. If you look like her, it is your obligation to speak up for people who look like me.
Hold on, what does that mean? If you
White
look like
people,
me,
if you are white, no, not if you look like me and need a Rogaine for women. No, she's not talking about her receding bald spot or hairline. She's talking about the fact that she's bringing race into it and doing what liberal white women love to do. they take it upon themselves because of white privilege that they need to be the ones advocating for brown people like me. We don't fucking need you, lady.
Hold on, can we take a video break 1 second?
Yeah.
Congratulations. That was one of the stupidest things that I've ever seen anybody post on the internet before.
That's great. You should use that all the time.
It's so fucking stupid. If you look like me, shit, that's like echoes of Biden. You know what I mean? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. If you look like me, say something like, holy shit, dude.
I love that she like had to make sure you actually saw that she was white. Like she's like, if you look at me, just in case you couldn't tell, I'm white.
Liberals are obsessed with race, dude. It is wild. This is just so wild to see. What's so scary is that this is so widely believed and like people really think this. Holy crap, dude.
I as a person, I actually hate to say this because I don't even think I just call myself Hispanic, but this society has pointed at me so much. You know, for someone who believes in inclusivity, they're the ones making me feel like an outsider more than anyone else. I have never felt more
being black right now and being
I know. It's like you are making me feel other instead of making me feel like you make me feel like I'm a second class citizen. I'm a second class citizen because you need to speak up for me. That's wild.
Yeah. What a point of privilege.
Yeah.
Use their own medicine against them. What a point of privilege.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember when I first watched that, I literally I had to hit pause and walk away and take a drink of water and then just like.
Yeah, we got to think about this for a second here. I didn't hear the end of that. So I had actually, believe it or not, I'd seen the first 4 seconds of that video and I clicked off because I'm like, well, this isn't somebody that's worth my time. I did not know that was Tim Walz's daughter.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That was the state of the country is obsessed with this random fucking MS-13 guy, and we're spending how much resources? By the way, I don't want to. We've watched too many videos. I have a video from.
I don't have any problem with watching all these videos.
I have a video of President Bukele from El Salvador and President Trump in the Oval Office, and all the questions that are being peppered by CNN's Caitlin Collins, and they are just annoying the fuck out of both presidents, is about this MS-13 guy.
Okay.
And the president literally is like, yeah, I'm okay with him being imprisoned. He's a criminal.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. And then Trump literally goes, anyone but you, any more questions, anyone but you.
I love that when he does that. He's like, you're especially nasty. You ask stupid questions.
But she keeps going. And then he literally, she would not stop. And she just kept yelling questions. So he just ended the press conference. He's like, all right, we're done.
No way.
Yeah. This is what the media is obsessed with. And it's really telling and scary. And we had other stuff to talk about.
Some kid got stabbed in the heart, by the way.
Yeah. But it's 6 o'clock. We're going on 3 hours now. And I know you've got family. So, but I think that's
chilling.
But let me tell you, that is very telling of where we're at in this country. Race is becoming the number one topic that liberal media is obsessed with.
100%.
The Carmelo Anthony story, race baiting.
Yep.
The Kilmar Abrego Garcia MS-13 story, race baiting. Just where we're at.
And those will continue.
Yeah.
I mean, they pulled it super hard during the Obama administration for sure. And then when Trump was in office, BLM became a huge thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were pre-stoking the fires for the next presidency where they could fuel as much racial division as humanly possible so that when the election came around, we would know exactly who to vote for. And then you've got a presidential candidate saying the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If you don't vote for me, you're not black.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't get it twisted. The Democratic Party wants nothing but to divide the shit out of us so that they have voting power. That's it. It's a perceived moral high ground, and it's really disgusting, dude. It makes me sick to my stomach. But Cajun Corey for 5 says, I accidentally drank a bottle of disappearing ink. Now I'm sitting in the ER waiting to be seen. And I think he's sitting right next to John Cena, and they haven't been seen yet.
Corey, just go like this and see if you can turn it off.
Yeah, shout out Cajun Corey. Good to see you, brother. Tricky's Thoughts for 5 says, if Jesus showed up, political Dems would have him deported. They would denounce him and have him executed.
It would be just like the first time around when he came to the world. You don't think so?
No, that was just I like that. 100%. And if anybody argument against that, like, I'm a Christian. They certainly don't like me. What would they think about him?
They would probably call him a charlatan and that he was trying to take power, and they would
call him a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
They'd
probably pull a Ruby Ridge on him kind of thing, you know?
100%. 100%. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But the beautiful thing is tomorrow is Sunday, Easter Sunday. It's time to spend time with the family, reflect on your life, thank Jesus a little bit for everything that we got going on here in this beautiful country, and just enjoy your day. Don't watch videos like we watched today. Don't fill your head with all the retardation that these people are pushing forward. Think for yourself.
100%. And then just come back on our next XCast and let us show you all the highlights of where this country's going. And you know what? You do need to be educated, because if you go around being ignorant, that's how you become part of these brainless humans who just repeat and parrot back what they're trying to feed to you. You have to be able to see the whole picture. And that's why I went from beginning to end with the story, just kind of showing all the different angles. There was a few more things. This senator fucking went to El Salvador and has pictures of him drinking margaritas, and he swears up and down. He had a press conference saying that they were planted. Like, so stupid. This whole thing is going it's a media circus. So, but the whole point is, look at the bigger picture. What are they trying to do? They're trying to be divisive, and we need to just be aware of their tactics so that you don't fall victim to them.
100%. The best thing you can do is be educated.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at what's actually going on, oftentimes you'll hear other people spouting about it and go, well, that doesn't make sense.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, I know we're wrapping up the show, but there was one thing that a lot of people haven't spoken about that I thought was actually cool. It's a short one. It's the thing about Scotland. I don't know if you remember.
Yes. Oh my. Okay. So look, here's the deal. I fucking love J.K. Rowling. Why? Because she created one of my favorite universes of all time. I'll be honest with you. The wizarding world of Harry Potter, I could live there. It's like Avatar for me. Like, I would love to live there. Big fan. Huge fan.
Are you coming to Florida for Epicverse this year? Epic Universe?
The opening?
Yeah. I mean, not the opening. It's open now, sort of, kind of, but
yeah.
I'm buying tickets for September, but it'll be there next year when you live here. But
yeah, I want to miss the first big rush for sure.
Actually, I have a theory that the first big rush is going to be next year, because they're making it so hard to get into the parks this year that you can only buy one ticket. I think that this year is the year to go, but there's points in the year that are better than others. But anyway, we'll talk about that. This is fantastic.
Dude, you want to talk about a fucking win?
UK Supreme Court has just ruled that law defines women as people born biologically female. This is incredible. It is huge.
If I needed one more reason to love the shit out of Scotland, like, this is it right here.
And Scotland was the one who pushed for it. It's now the UK Supreme Court, so it's all of the UK now has to abide by this. But
wait, it's the full UK?
But it was Scotland, because that's part of the UK that led to this happening. And it was like, I forgot what the group is. If you listen to these women, they have an advocacy group called like the Scotland Women's Association or something. They're the ones who led this to the Supreme Court, who continued the legal fight. And because of them, the UK now defines women as biological women. So the pendulum swing is swinging back to sanity.
Hold on, click on that video real quick.
Well, I have to reshare it.
Oh no, just
no.
Full screen it.
No, I have to share it a different way. Hang on a second.
15 years ago, this would have been an Onion article. I think you're right.
Now
I think
it's
you're
a
right.
really difficult.
Right, you sharing it, right?
Yeah. That's not JK.
No, JK is the next tweet I was going to show you. These are the ladies from Scotland.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're the ones who actually pushed for this.
We were in a really difficult place in Scotland then. We thought we were going to see rights for women rolled back. And today, the judges have said what we always believed to be the case, that women are protected by their biological sex, that sex is real, and that women can now feel safe that services and spaces designated for women are for women, and we are enormously grateful to the Supreme Court for this ruling.
Yeah. Dude, so like we make jokes about repealing the 19th. I never thought we'd be fighting for the 91st. You know what I mean? It's so weird. It feels like everything is backwards. We're fighting for women's rights, but like against dudes.
And the thing is that women are the ones that are fighting to lose their rights. And it's like, I know these women are not, but the majority of the people advocating for trans people are women, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
Pam Bondi, is it Pam or Pat? I'm really bad with names. Pam Bondi, actually, I have another, again, you know me with my videos and my preparation for the show. Like, I could literally have a 17-hour show with all the fucking shit I have. But Pam Bondi was on a stage recently with Riley Gaines and all these different people. What happened?
We live in the upside down.
Yeah, we do. We do. It's a fucking wild time to be alive. But she actually said, you know, even if it was a question about some state that had two trans men in sports. She's like, even if it's 100, like it's no difference if it's one woman or 100. You know, she's like, by the end of this administration's terms, there will not be any boys playing sports in women's sports. There will not be any boys in women's locker rooms. This is not going to happen. And I was just like, I hope so.
It's not women's sports if there's dudes in there.
Mm-hmm. And she made it a point to say, like,
you put a fucking wig on Rory McIlroy and stick him on the LPGA, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah, and she said that. She's like, some of these women have been playing sports and practicing for, and then she turns to Riley Gaines and goes, how old were you when you started swimming? And Riley Gaines goes, 4 years old. And she's like, this woman has literally been swimming her entire life, only to be for a male to come in and replace her hard work. And how is that fair?
Yeah.
But this was the tweet I have of J.K. Rowling.
Look at this fucking queen.
Hell yeah.
Ah, she's such a bamf. I would give anything to do a charcuterie plate and a nice glass of red wine and just talk to her for about an hour.
Yeah.
Just an hour. Just to hear all of it, because so many people don't view her as the creator of the universe of Harry Potter anymore. Now they see her as like
a turf.
I don't even fucking know what that word means.
Trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Wait. Trans exclusionary radical feminist. TERF. TERF.
It's an insult.
It means, is it?
It's supposed to be. They use it as an insult. I've been called a turf before online for speaking up. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess I am.
Ooh, that one sure stings there, kiddo.
Ouch.
Like, yeah, wow, that one really got me.
Yeah.
Turf.
I'm like, yeah, I'm advocating for biological women. If you want to call me whatever you want to call me.
I just installed some
Cool.
turf in my backyard, but anyways, yeah, I don't know. Like, so for me, you've got a woman here who's clearly an exceptional creative. Look at everything that was birthed out of the back of her fucking brain. You know what I mean? We have an incredible book series, an incredible movie series that has now been transformed into theme parks. Like, she's like a female George Lucas, right? I mean, she created this incredible universe. And because she wants women to be protected in private spaces now, she's an enemy of the state. What? What the fuck?
Wild. It's absolutely wild.
I just, Yeah, I don't know. So a woman who understands biology. Yeah, I just don't get it. That was a huge win. That's a huge win. Massive pendulum swing. Makes me very, very happy. It seems like reason is attempting to make a birth back into, human society.
100%.
Which makes me happy. Makes me very, very happy.
Oh, we just got to survive all this other crap and see, if we can make it in time for the full pendulum swim too,
Dude, the next 5 years are going to be wild.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have a little bit of time before I have to introduce my kid to like the world at large, which makes me pretty happy.
Are y'all going to homeschool? I know it's a lot of work. I would say that she's going to be old enough that when you move to Florida, you can do what my family does. Some of my siblings do virtual school. So and it's Florida State, not controlled by any of the counties, because we've got some blue counties here. So the curriculum is approved by our very, very Republican governor, and it does not have any bullshit in it. And it's also like really convenient. Like, school's done. It starts at 9 and it's done by 11. And that way, you just put her on in front of a TV. There's some stuff that you have to then, like, there's a lot of homework to do or like reinforcing of stuff, but you're not wasting your whole fucking day in school. And then if you want to put her in soccer, softball, martial arts, and yoga, shit, she can do fucking 10 sports, and get socialized that way. My niece is probably one of the most socialized, well-adjusted kids, and she's in virtual school.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think, the biggest thing that you miss when it comes to like homeschooling or virtual schooling is the shit that we all had to go through when we were kids, which is dealing with humans. That's a really big part of adjusting to, to society. But I've got a friend, I think you know him as well, who has a daughter who, who does virtual school, but then is adjusted through volleyball and all these different other kind of things. I think
Another great example.
Yeah, I think there's a really good path to not have to deal with the bullshit that our government has created for our kids. And no, my child will not be participating in that at all. She will be a free thinker, and if her free thinking points her in a direction that is against my wishes and beliefs, great. She's a free thinker. You know what I mean? But at least she's going to be educated in all of her decisions to get to that point. What I won't stand for is her being uneducated in those decisions and listening to talking heads telling her what she should think. That's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, that got serious at the end there.
To make it not serious, Cavatino Cavalryman Che says, which Hogwarts house will Lily be in? ?
It's going to be up to her completely. If I had to guess right now, so I'm a Hufflepuff, I think she would probably be a Gryffindor. The way that she acts and the shit that she does at this point, dude, she's like climbing off. Like, she's way too small. She's small enough she can barely walk. She took her first steps the other day, but she's climbing onto windowsills and like trying to jump off of shit. So she reminds me a lot of what I was when I was a kid, just an absolute daredevil. But I don't know. I think she'd either be a Gryffindor or she'll wind up being a Ravenclaw, because I'm going to pump so much information into that cute little brain about classical music and science and biology and politics and all these different things. She'll get the gambit for sure. Okay, we got to hit some super chats real quick. Where did we leave off? Here we go. Old Renaissance Boomer for 2 says, remembering Dad 7 years ago, April 16th, Easter weekend. Hey, shout out ORB. Good
ORB.
to have you here, brother. A fantastic photographer. Wonderful man. Debbie from Australia, member for 8 months, says, check out Tickle versus Giggle happening down here. What?
What? That sounds weird.
Please tell me that those are not two people's real names that wound up in a lawsuit, because Tickle versus Giggle is going to be fucking hilarious.
That sounds weird. Not gonna lie.
Spirian for 10 says, in my view, the retarded dudes who are claiming to be females to play in women's sports are worthless dudes who can't hang with other males and are just trying to make money. I think they have a little bit of a mental issue. with needing to compete. And I think it's possible that during that competition, they were unable to fulfill whatever their desires were. Maybe that caused some kind of a breakdown, and now they feel they have to go somewhere else where they can win. That kind of delusion, I don't understand. I've lost in plenty of sporting events. I've won in plenty of sporting events, but basically changing your gender to try to compete is pretty fucking wild to me. And
Lazy.
Yeah. I understand there are people who wanted to transition and then like go into female sports. I think there is a gambit of dudes who wanted to go into women's sports, to be in the locker rooms, to be the number one in that area. We have to remember that not a lot of people are normal. We got a lot of weirdos out there, a lot of mentally sick people, and you have to account for that in a society. You really have to. So I'm not saying every trans person is bad, or every, dude who dresses like a chick that goes into sports is there for a bad reason, but it's a thing. So
I mean, it is a DSM-5 mental disorder. So
yep,
I'll say it. I think it is a mental disorder, but that's how we have it classified right now in medicine.
Well, it's the same as I always kind of view it the same as like anorexia. You have a problem. You don't feel what you see in the mirror doesn't represent what you think about in your mind. And if you go to such a drastic place as to like cut off your genitalia or like slice part of your leg off to, create boobs or, doing all this different kind of stuff, it's just a lot. And I would rather see these people get the help that they need to be happy and healthy with who they are, than what they're doing. It doesn't come from hate at all. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy, man. We got one life to live. And I would hate for you to do something that in 5-10 years, you look back and say, holy fucking shit, I ruined my life.
A lot of these people are having that happen to them because of this. I think, I don't want to say, it's just this society is kind of pushing them in that direction, making them believe, these groups are making them believe this is going to be something that's going to help you up here, and they're going to get these procedures done. And then trust me, when I've seen some of the videos and pictures of what the outcome looks like, and these people are fucked for life. They're fucked for life. They will probably die from complications from some of these procedures. Not everyone, but the gross majority of them have basically just ruined themselves, and now have to face years of mental problems, medical problems. So yeah, I just, it's terrible that we're pushing them in that direction. And when we found that it doesn't actually help with the depression and other issues that they sometimes comes along with their condition.
Yeah, it's fucking sad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Helps to pray. I know if anybody's out there in the audience thinking about it or whatever, you probably hate Jesus because of what you've been told or whatever. But sometimes praying and just listening to your real inner thoughts and being open to guidance and a little bit of wisdom is never a bad thing. It can't hurt you. Certainly hurts a lot less than surgery. So, give a thought about it. Think about it. It's a beautiful Saturday. We've got some time left in the day. I would say go out there. If you've got a grill a little bit of meat, hang out with the family, make something beautiful. And tomorrow is Easter Sunday. Do a little bit of prayer, a little bit of self-reflection. Tomorrow is a very, very important day, at least for me. I know a lot of people. So be good. Be kind to your neighbors, be kind to your friends, call your mom, call your grandma, let them know you're thinking about them. Spend some time with the family. And holy
Absolutely.
crap, what a mother blanking X-cast. Huh?
Yes.
I like it. I'm liking X-cast. We went everywhere.
Yeah, we did. It was fun. This is what happens when you have an ADHD co-host / producer.
I love it. Works well for me, man. I like jumping all over.
By the way, I gave myself those credentials.
Producer?
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, cool.
JoRosie, the producer. I like that. I'm gonna have to make you a T-shirt that says producer.
It'll go with my jacket that says director. It's perfect.
Well, everyone, if you haven't already, please go follow the lovely, incomparable JoRosie. Links are in the description below, added here as well. And then follow her on Twitter as well, please, or X, whatever you want to call it. Follow the real JoRosie. It's at real JoRosie, right? At real JoRosie. Go check that out. She is a wonderful co-host here. And can I cut my own promo here one more time?
Absolutely. Yes.
Any of the 105 people here have not already heard about it, Jay, Mr. Drunk 3PO, and I are putting together a graphic novel that will be released this year. And I have a tiny little promo cut if you guys want to see it. It's called The Daughter's Revenge.
They're here.
So be it.
Forgive me, Father.
That's so freaking cool.
You didn't make the graphics though, right?
Well, I mean, the stuff that you saw that was drawn is black and white from the actual graphic novel.
That's
so
so
it hasn't
cool.
been to the colorist or anything like that. That is actually from the book. I know exactly what page it is. Eric Hodson, the dreaded dinosaur, is doing an absolutely fantastic job drawing.
Job.
He's doing an incredible job. We had a meeting yesterday or day before yesterday, going over the first, big groupings of pages, and this book is drawn so fantastically. I'm absolutely blown away. And it's just in black and white right now. We don't have like the text bubbles. We don't have the coloring or anything like that. It is absolutely incredible to see. And then on the backside, Jay and I are doing all kinds of cool stuff, trying to bring you guys like real, awesome, authentic collectibles for this story, because this is just the first book of 3. Like this story has so much, and people are so hyped about this first book. And it only has anywhere to go but up, because there's so much story left to tell. So, I'm forging swords for this book, which are going to be gone in like the first 10 seconds. Unfortunately, there are people who've already kind of put their name in, and I think are probably going to get the swords. And then book 2 is very much a closure and opening. And then book 3 is the finale, this incredible finale for this insane story that we want to tell. And it's just it feels like going back to Star Wars. That's all I can say for me. For Jay, it probably feels like going back to Indiana Jones. For me, it feels like going back to Star Wars. For somebody else, it might be another something else. It's just a return to good storytelling. That's where we wanted to go. So I love it. I love it so much. 9 Line Apparel has the merch up, so please go check it out. We're doing that to try to fund the book, at least in the beginning, because it costs a lot of money to make a graphic novel, believe it or not. And then once this thing releases, if people love it, we're going to keep the train rolling.
I'm so excited. I don't know if there's a way to sign up to be the first person to get it, but as soon as that happens, I'm going to be the first person to
go to daughtersrevenge.com. If somebody can drop that in the chat. It's a pretty bare bones site right now because we haven't started releasing a lot of the information yet, but go to daughtersrevenge.com and you can sign up there, throw your email in. And then also another really good place to be is the History of Pirates YouTube channel. So I was a music major. I started working with AI and my cello and my guitar and started putting together a original soundtrack for The Daughter's Revenge because I'm a music guy. I think I favor movies because of their soundtracks a lot of the time. I'm a huge John Williams fan, obviously, and then also a huge Hans Zimmer fan. And so I tried to do what I could do with AI because I don't have a symphony behind me to try to create an original soundtrack. So inputting, certain riffs, certain motifs, certain ideas with Suno, which is, I think, the best software you can use right now to give them ideas on how to make this music and what I want to hear, and then creating this original soundtrack. So if you go to the History of Pirates YouTube channel right now, there is a playlist for the original soundtrack for The Daughter's Revenge.
That's freaking cool.
I've been working on that really hard. So if you want to pop in there and just say like, hey, I like this one. Hey, this one sounds like shit. Hey, I like this one.
Are you guys gonna make a CD and sell it? I know things are still very nebulous right now, but is that a possibility? I mean, does anyone even have CD players anymore?
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think anybody has CD players. I mean, yeah, my truck doesn't even have a CD player. So yeah, it's all there. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And then make sure you're subscribed to the lovely JoRosie.
You've got some super chats that you missed.
I did?
Just the little ones that came in just now.
Who did I miss? Who did
They
I
just
miss?
snuck in there.
Ooh, says hello, my love. And Joe. Just kidding. Of course, Joe is my love. And yeah, we know. Please stop sending me feet pictures. The feet pictures are just like getting out of hand. NDI gifts a membership. Shout out from NDI for the gifty. Thank you, brother. And Jerry Sills for 2 says WrestleMania with main event Jerry Silzo. Yeet. Yeah, that's in 19 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, right? 19 minutes.
Also want to shout out Risk It for the Biscuit, just recovering from some shoulder surgery. Happy healing.
Shout out Risk It for the Biscuit. And hold on one sec here. Where is Risk It? There he is. Give me 1 second. We got to boom. There we go. Risk It. What are you doing? Oh, there it is. Yes, Risk It's got the wrench. Let's go. Risk It for the Biscuit, one of the tattoo crew. We have a whole group of people who actually already have this tattooed on their body. The tattoo crew. Some of my Daughter's Revenge crew. So shout out Risk It. Of course, you're modded, brother. Appreciate you. Okay, that's what I had. You want to plug something? What do you got?
Elrich, member for 15 months, says, sorry I'm joining so late. Happy Saturday. Y'all, Commodore, here's my checkup. Firefly yet? Hail the tattoo crew, Vindicta.
Eldritch, where was
it? It was all the way in the middle. It was sandwiched in between stuff, so you missed it.
Dude, I feel horrible. Eldritch is awesome. I got to meet him down in Florida. I love Eldritch.
He's part of the tattoo crew.
I have not watched Firefly yet. No, I don't.
Where is Firefly streaming?
Well, he sent me DVDs.
But it's got to be streaming somewhere.
It might be streaming somewhere. I don't know, but I have the DVDs now.
Nice. Well, I'll borrow them when you move next year.
Mark says, "Don't forget about me." What did I miss?
He's got a $2.
Says, "How do I get a sword?" Money. So make sure that you have the email in the website. So make sure you go to daughtersrevenge.com and then throw your email in. And then when we go live with that, there's only going to be 6, maybe 5 of those swords made. And it's going to be whoever clicks on it first. So it's going to be like a GameStop night drop. And they're not going to be cheap at all. It was not made to be cheap. It wasn't meant to be cheap. It was just, if anybody wants a handmade cutlass that would have been made exactly like it was made back in the day, That's what it's going to be. So, yeah.
I'm excited for it.
It's going to be awesome. Okay, sweet. That's what I had. Joe, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm gaming at some point this weekend. I'm supposed to be playing Elden Ring. I feel like I don't want to compete with WrestleMania tonight, so I'll see how I feel. I'd have to have like at least 3 cups of.
Stream it.
I'm gonna see how I feel. Right now, I'm just like I need some. I'm like dehydrated. Everybody's like, "You've got a great bladder, not one pee." It's like I also haven't had any water all day, so I have the opposite problem. I don't drink water, so
I'm dehydrated.
Is that beer?
Mm.
Is that alcoholic of any kind? No, really.
Me? Couldn't be me.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go have myself some iced tea, and then see if that perks me up.
Hydrating.
That's not.
Anyways, all right. Well, we used to end this stream here a long time ago on the Hangar Bay, asking you guys to believe in something. So I need you guys in the chat to tell me: do you believe, Joe? Do you believe in the Hangar Bay?
I do.
I believe in the Hangar Bay. Chat, do you believe in the Hangar Bay? Chat, do you believe? Because you know what? I'll tell you right now.
My time has come. You must continue your journey without me.
What are you? What? Master! You can't leave me!
You must believe.
Master!